Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Saving Throw, the only D&D podcast with whatever this is about to be. I'm your Dungeon Master, Chris, and today I'm joined by Jason playing Chiron Hemlock. I'm not used to you being introduced without five jokes in front of you.
Yeah, whatever this is about to be, we're here for it. I can't do it anymore. The bit's ruined.
The bit's ruined. And that's all I'm joined by, because today we're doing something very special on Saving Throw. We're in fact doing a Saving Throw special, the Chiron special. That's why Jason's here. Can you believe that shit? Look, it's been a long time coming. We've been wanting to know what the fuck's this guy's whole deal for nearly 4 fucking years, and this is the first Saving Throw special I had planned out. So let's stop fucking around and get into this. Patreon, $5, you get your name in here. Go check out Watch Saving Throw channel, please, for the love of God. The time for talk is over. It is now the time for substantially more talk. You ready for this? Chiron. You crouch over the battered body of Emperor Alakir, the cavity that should hold his heart empty, unnatural, with stone where organs should be. Faint purple light still humming out of that might-be heart as you pull another long, draining strand of magic from that heart and into an empty crystal. One no longer empty. And like that, just like that, it's over. The last of that unknown and relentless magic locked away. You've done it. The hearth stands. Your friends survived. You survived. And in that moment, you can't help but recall what Emil Dull said to you and Junver in that hallway. That in this story, no one else dies. Then, you feel light. You feel warmer, like the weight of your leather armor had been shed away, like your muscles no longer ache from fighting beneath them. You look down. Something pulls your attention there. You see the bandage. As it unravels, as it falls slack from your arm where it was so tightly bound and wrapped, as those carefully treated and tucked bandages just go. Your locket falls from your neck, like the chain had been snapped, but it is in fact still connected. You reach to grab it, to catch it before it can fall and hit the ground. But you don't. Because, Chiron, you're not there. Because, Chiron, you are not. Chiron, you're awake. But it's not right to say you awaken because you weren't asleep. You feel as if you've just woken up, like from a dream. The same sensation one feels as they are suddenly pulled from a dream and shot awake in their bed. But you are not in a bed, and you were not dreaming. You were there. You were just there. Rontmar, atop the capital, looking out on it, with your friends, with your comrades, with them. But now, you are here. It's a room. It's certainly a room. A large one, a really large one. Fine wood floors and row after row after row of what look to be bookshelves. Or like bookshelves, but not holding books. Some might just call those shelves. It's quiet here, but music faintly plays in the distance, a simple and rhythmic strum of string music. The music gets too loud and Chris has to lower it. And ahead of you, in the middle of an aisle between those rows and rows of bookcases, someone sits with their back to you. They're perched atop a stool, wearing a simple tunic in a white color that has long since lost its luster. And they sit before a canvas. They are painting with a palette in one hand, a brush in the other, and canvas before them and a mirror sitting to their side. Chiron, you're in a room.
And you said it felt like I just woke up.
It's like
That's like the feeling.
it's like the feeling you get when you are so deep in a lucid dream. I don't remember my dreams, so I'm talking out of my ass here. But like where it's like you one minute you're doing something in a dream, and the next you're like, oh shit, I'm in bed. That wasn't real. But instead of that, it's that like 1 second you are in Rotmar, literally standing over the corpse of the, or not the corpse, the body of the Emperor, and the next you're like, oh, I'm standing in a room that I, to my knowledge, have never seen before.
The first probably gut instinct I would do is probably try to reach where I know the locket is and see if I can find the locket.
Fantastic. Chiron, you reach down to your chest to clutch the locket, the same one you had just attempted to stop from falling in Rotmar, and it is not there. In fact, none of your gear or kit are there. You're wearing clothing. Familiar clothing, but also foreign in a way. This is clothing that you do recognize. You've worn this before. Can I get a... let's just go with a good old-fashioned history check.
That is a 15.
You wore this clothing, actually, a long time ago. Like a really long time ago. Like, before you ever donned your medical garb. This is nice clothing that was bought for you by someone else. But really, it's just a shirt, pants, and a vest.
Okay. No locket,
No locket, no
other
bandages,
gear.
no mask, no axes, no
Okay.
vials, no syringes. Just you.
Okay. And the person sitting in the chair.
They do not seem to have noticed you. Can I get a perception check?
A natural 20. Oh yeah. Oh baby.
Okay.
It's all right.
The person in front of you, you would suspect them to be late teens, probably. They're a young person, certainly. Short black hair. And as I mentioned, they're dressed in just a tunic and nothing else. No shoes, no nothing, no socks, no shoes on inside the house. Can you believe that shit?
Yeah.
They move in such a way that is like, it's not unnatural. It's in fact like really natural. Every flow of their hand as they're painting is like this really well done like gesture that you would just say, like, you know, from a perspective thing, reads of like really, really well practiced at what they're doing, which is painting currently. Like, it's an odd thing. I don't necessarily know how much Chiron knows about painting, but it's like just watching them, it looks to be a master of the brushstroke techniques they're doing at work.
Okay. Chiron will face away from this person towards like a wall, not like towards the door or any open enclosure.
Yes.
And probably start the conversation like, what are you working on? What?
As you turn away, you turn to see more of this room and see that, as far as you can tell, these rows and rows and rows and rows of bookcases just keep going, keep stretching on further than you can possibly see. Everything is illuminated, though. It doesn't like become dark as you get further away. Everything is in fact like flatly lit, perfectly lit, which as a man of science and also just a person, that's not possible. You hear a rattle and a jolt as you speak, as the figure behind you now jolts in their seat as if you surprised them, and they take a moment to catch their breath before turning back to face your back. Oh, hello there. Goodness, I wasn't expecting you or anyone. You really startled me there.
I wasn't expecting myself. Tell me, where is this precisely?
Oh, I'm sorry. The painter speaks, and you hear the tap of their brush as they're clearly setting it down, wiping it, or something like that. I wasn't expecting anyone today. I'm sorry. Welcome. Just a moment. And they take a moment. Chiron Hemlock, correct?
Yeah, how did you know that?
Well, Chiron Hemlock, it is nice to receive you here. You are dead. They say it, and they say it so matter-of-factly, as if they are just saying, hey, it's raining outside. Something you're expected to, like, hear and just be like, oh, okay, and move on. But they say, you're dead.
Okay. Yeah, Chiron, like, visibly, like, shakes from that, and then, like, he, reaches through his vest and see if he gets, like, a handkerchief or something like that, and kind of, like, brushes away maybe some tears or something that's, like, in his eyes.
You reach into your breast pocket, and you pull out a handkerchief. It is nice, nicer than like anything Chiron would use when he was working in the medical field. Something that is nice in the fact that it is unused. It's designed to sit in your pocket and look nice, not to, you know, be a great handkerchief. And there is a green emblem emblazoned on it. But for now, you just use it to wipe away a tear.
Yeah. Is she here too? Is it time finally to meet again?
She. The figure pauses again, as if thinking, as they did before they said your name. Cassandra Sagehold, is that correct?
Yes. I haven't heard that name in years.
I am afraid she is not here. Not in this particular place. But she is close by. Very close by, in a sense.
I wish to meet her.
I can permit you to do that, but not right now. You hear
Why?
Another voice walking out from the stacks and stacks and stacks of paintings. Gods among us, man, have some bedside manner, please! Another voice calls out, one that is vaguely familiar. And in a moment of a person appearing, a person that certainly was not there a second ago, you feel a hand on your shoulder. Warm and comforting. One that reaches out and rests on you in a familiar way, comfortably embracing you. And you turn, spinning in place to be face to face with a wide smile and soft eyes. You really have to excuse my friend here. They don't have the same, reproach towards death as we do. Chiron, before you stands a man dressed comfortably, with soft-looking clothes that sort of drape off of him, long sleeves and trousers. But you recognize this man. In fact, you saw him yesterday, in Marin's office. Dark tanned skin, an impossibly bright smile, and a long flowing plume of curly brown hair that falls down and covers his eyes when he moves. He extends a hand. Kate Evanol. Pleasure to meet you, Chiron.
Very warming palm, index finger slightly bigger than the other one.
He's looking at his hands and you're saying this, he goes, fuck, he's right.
And he shakes, Chiron shakes his hand back. I don't have your axes. I'm sorry.
Cade looks down as if to confirm that you lack his axes, and he just sort of shrugs. They are really good at making their way back to people. I'm sorry we had to meet like this, you know. Gestures around. This. How can I say this? Did you already get to the he's dead part? He looks over at the painter.
Well, if I may intercede, do you mind if I don't look too close, or can I look somewhere else? You guys, I don't want you to see anything here. The husk of a man that was long ago. Even if I'm dead, I still wish that to be hidden, if possible.
Cade looks at you, and then as you're explaining why you don't want him to look at you, he looks down and sort of like crosses his arms and strokes his chin. Fine with me. And he looks over, Kev? And he turns to the painting figure, who has not, or did turn to face you, but now turns back to their painting, to their work. And both now, Cade spins around, and basically you are all having a conversation, not facing one another. Okay, let's start here. How best to explain it? And the painter speaks. I am a steward of a sort. I help people pass from life to what waits after life. Many would call me death, but that's not really accurate. I'm more like a death. You can call me Kevin, though. Cade kind of snickers at that. I needed something to call them. You spend a lot of time with somebody, you gotta call them some kind of name. Shout out longtime patron Kevin Asian for Kevin, a death. Fuck you, because how was I gonna put Asian in this? There's no Asia in Ray, you bastard.
Cade, if this Kevin were to be demolished into nothing but dust, would that bring both anybody out of death potentially, or is that not how it works?
Man, you really are quick and pragmatic, huh? I actually haven't tried that, I'll be completely honest with you. But I have a distinct feeling that wouldn't work. Because this is... The rules don't work normally here, Chiron. And to be perfectly honest, I don't know. We don't know why you're here or what here is. Even he doesn't. They don't, excuse me. And they've been here a lot longer than me. You see, here is like a pass-through, a place for people to adjust, to understand, to wait, to take a moment or 1,000 moments before passing to the next. But it also acts as a place to go when there is nowhere else to send someone. Kevin speaks. You should have been here a long time ago, Chiron Hemlock, but you weren't. And then you should have been brought back to life. But you couldn't. So you ended up here. Not to worry, there is a process, a solution here. You're just a special category, Chiron. You're a weirdo. And Kevin agrees. Yes,
Thanks.
A weirdo. Much like Cade Evanol. And Cade's like, fuck you, man. As Kevin said, they're a steward. They got this whole life and afterlife thing sorted out. You see all of these, and he gestures around, and you can sort of feel him move behind you as like the light shifts the shadows to the cases and cases and cases. This is all Kevin's work. Cade moves over to a stack and pulls one of the items off. It slides with a thunganak, and Cade reveals a painting, carefully turning it to you while keeping his eyes averted from you. This is how we're remembered, I suppose. When we're all done and wrapped up, Kevin here paints us a lovely tribute. I like to think of it as our most defining moment, the thing that shows the world who we are. Cade admires the painting, and you see it as he does, and then turns it to you. A bakery, a shop, well lit and warm, while snow falls outside. In it you see a baker fixing a sandwich behind the counter, stacked high with meat and cheese for a young urchin with dirty feet and tattered clothes. Kevin interjects, and you can't help some sort of gut reflex that tilts your head towards them. I would mention it is endlessly more complicated than Cade Evanol's explanation, but I believe one could look at it in Cade Evanol's explanation and understand it to some level. It is now you notice the painting, the one that Kevin is actively working on, or has ceased working on since you have arrived. Incomplete, but the features are coming together. In the background, hard to misconstrue, you were just there. The hearth, with that mighty crack running down its frame. And the foreground, the focus, the subject. A woman, with a bow drawn between fingers that even in still paint you can tell tremble. TL of Kinmar, TL the Shatterer. The detail strikes you, what the painter is working on, what they're focused on, or were focused on. TL readying to fire that arrow, the final one she fired, not the one that did the damage, but the one that did effectively nothing. And how the artist seems to add just the lightest of strokes around the arms, the legs, to convey that tremble, that uncertainty.
Do I look at the photo and does Chiron recognize either the baker or the boy?
No, you do not. But I'll say you do recognize TL. So you, and I'll to even just give you a little bit more of that. You clearly can tell. You still have all of your memories. You still know who you are.
Okay.
And you still remember the event that happened seconds ago. This is not some weird pocket dimension where you're a blank slate. You're still Chiron.
Cade, Kevin, listen, I can't let these. Is there a chance that they're still battling? Did they win? Are they gonna be here too? My friends, are they still out there? Did they win?
Cade says nothing at first and returns the painting to the stack, sliding it back into its place with another thunk. And crosses his arms. Kevin, one more? And the painter remains quiet for a moment. I have already permitted Cade Evanol to look down once today, but I suppose I have not permitted Chiron Hemlock to do so. Chiron Hemlock, please.
Down. What do you mean down?
Please come, take a look. And they gesture to the mirror that sits beside them.
Okay, I mean, I'll look and see through the mirror and see. I assume it's just not it's not a normal mirror. I don't know.
Yes, you walk over towards the mirror. And here's what I'm going to say happens is that you race almost to see yourself in the mirror, to see your face. And then as you sort of cross that liminal point where you should be seeing a reflection, you do not. And this is not a mirror, albeit it sure looks like one, but rather a looking glass. A glass that looks down. And you actually see, I guess you're seeing what Kevin was just looking at, because it follows TL currently, as you see her cornered by Junver and then scampering away. Who would you care to see, Chiron Hemlock? Kevin asks.
That's a tough one. Because you said Junver, TL is there.
So I'm gonna say like it's almost as think of this as a third person view, and it's following TL. The camera's following TL. So for a second you see Junver, and I'll say you see Errol because he was also next to Junver.
I have an idea. I'll follow the arrow to the hearth. And then
this is after. So sorry, this is after.
Oh, sorry.
Kevin is clearly painting something that happened like a little bit ago.
Okay, sorry.
Although here's what I'll say, because you were still alive when, you were still Chiron, level Chiron when TL fired that arrow. So like that was an amount of time ago. Although it was like 2 minutes ago, so it wasn't like this painting came together quick.
I have an idea though. Like the hearth, probably one of the biggest things, and you said I noticed it before even like looking at a specific person.
Yeah, it's almost like you can turn the camera and you can see the hearth because it's massive.
I would assume is shattered, and I would follow the line of. I knew Darmay was holding the shatter. What happened to her? Because I want to see if we won.
Right.
And that would be the first place I look. If the hearth is shattered, did she die? Because I remember protecting her before I went over to see if the guy exploded. So
by the time that is now, Darmay has already. Oh, yes, you don't know that. The hearth has been released from the binding white light of Darmay, and magic does pour out of it. Not dissimilar at all to the Shaper's Stone in Adelmar, where it is damaged. It is a bleeding entity. It is something that needs to be fixed or healed. but it is not shattered. Indefatigably, it is not shattered.
Okay.
However, yes, the white light of Darmé Ondal is not wrapped around it anymore.
Okay, so, and I assume in looking at her, I follow, like I said, the light. She's, I don't know if that's...
The camera continues to follow Ciel, but Kevin did ask you who, they particularly said, who do you want to look at?
Well, I guess I was saying Darmé there, technically, and then then I have a second one. I have an idea of what I wanted to do.
When you say Darmé Ondal to Kevin, the camera moves, but it doesn't have to go very far because she's not particularly far away. But in a little like a whip pan motion, I
guess logically that's how it would make sense to me. I follow the hearth. Oh shit, the hearth broke. I want to see if we were losing, and then
right.
why is it broken? Because Darmé,
So that's an interesting point. I like that. So, to answer your sort of immediate thought of did we lose? Can I get an investigation check?
Well, must have been a deep sleep. 4.
Well, what you see then? Surface level. Yes. Hey, you were here like 30 fucking seconds ago, and not actually, but like an amount of time ago. And everyone that was also here is still here. Emil Dole and Troten have fucked off. Herzog has fucked off. TL is actively fucking off. Which leaves, basically speaking, your friends. You see the body of Emperor Alakir Ront. You were there. That was the last place you were. With Marin, with Ash, Gunver, Alistair, Darmé, Vessler. But you are not there. And where was you, where was Chiron, is a pile of things. Bandages and a mask and a jacket and axes and vials and a ring and a signet and pieces that look like you to you, the things you put on every day, the things you wrapped yourself in, the things that made that buffer between who can and cannot see you. And among them is a locket. That same locket you tried to catch, which now is tightly wrapped and clenched in the hands of Darmé, who, among others, among Marin, is just fucking sobbing.
And then, so I take that in. I'm like, I think Chiron's pretty visibly distraught by that, because I think, there's several reasons why I wouldn't like that. Because that means, A, we might have lost, and B, just seeing this person distraught is not great for me. I would then go, okay, did I at least save Alec from exploding? That's, the doctor would check his work. Did I save the guy from exploding and then potentially hurting other people?
Yes. I mean, as far as you can tell.
Okay.
Medicine check.
So, 15.
Medically speaking, you were not able to stitch up the chest of Alec, at least not as much as you needed to or should have.
Yeah.
However, he's not gushing blood. He appears at this distance, and it's kind of hard to say, to be incapacitated. You might say catatonic, but you can't judge that from this distance and without, actually physically examining him. And the other thing is the heart, the crystal heart that the Emperor has, for whatever reason he has it, it is pretty... rapid's not the right word, but much quicker than a human being heals. It is almost patching up that wound in his chest.
And you said everybody else is like everybody else, like, so he didn't explode from what I could tell, or it's patching up. I'll check on everybody else in terms of like, are they...
Okay, checking on everyone else. Let's go with another investigation check.
This one's gonna go well, I'm sure. Hey, 17.
Okay, let's just sort of run it down here. Your friends are injured, but injuries that they have sustained and lived through before. I'm not going to pretend I remember who took the most damage in the last combat. I think it was Junver, but he also second-winded. But these are the wounds of battle, and the wounds of battle are something that you have treated and you know can be treated. However, as Ash moves across the platform and plops himself down on the edge where the stone has been disturbed, where wind turned it to mud earlier, and begins to distance himself from the moment and open a sketchbook and start drawing, as Junver basically just stares off at where TL had scampered off to, as Vessler stands in what I would describe as stunned horror, looking up through the tree where the Emperor lied and looking up at the hearth. It is not the wounds of battle you are concerned about.
Nobody is dying that I can see.
Nobody is dying that you can see. I don't believe the damage any of the soldiers took was lethal. Actually, I'm not sure about that. I'll say either the soldiers that when you were fighting, like the bad soldiers, the wrong, they're just following orders, but still, they're either incapacitated or yeah, I'll say a couple of them are dead. Say lobby. There is a box, a stone structure that was basically blasted apart by some sort of dispelling magic. You weren't able to see that, so I can't give you more on that. Yeah, that's what I got for you.
Okay, well, Kevin, I would have, as much as I dread being here, as much as it is awful, the fact that nobody else perished and all of them are still okay is what I wanted to see the most. And Cade, thank you for showing this to me.
Cade nods, but you're looking at the back of his head, so you can't see anything beyond that. And Kevin speaks at your side, like sitting in their stool and like basically like giving you your space to look at the what do you call it? The mirror, the looking glass. We collect these, they explain, and sort of gesture to the painting of TL beside them. Paint them for each and every person. Often we begin to paint them before we know that is what their painting should look like. And typically, by the time they end up here, we know which one to go with, which draft. But you, Chiron Hemlock, much like Cade Evanol, are not a typical case. This is what we mean by a weirdo. You hear Cade sigh. What they mean is you already had a life, and a life that ended. So you already have a painting in here, Chiron. Painting that may reflect who you are now and may not, all the same. And they're gonna ask you a question. It's gonna hurt like hell. You're gonna have to answer it. Cade pauses and moves to look over his shoulder and then shakes his head. Kevin, isn't it a bit soon? The pale-dressed painter tilts their head and, despite explicitly being asked not to, looks over at you. I have not considered the pacing of these matters to be entirely relevant. This is a place to wait, so Chiron Hemlock may wait.
I would have... As long as I didn't fail twice, I'll see my first failing and face it. I I failed to keep her alive, but I kept those guys alive. I kept all of them alive. Let me see the painting of my failures. I'm ready.
Very well. Then wait. Cade interrupts. Show him something else first, so he can know what he's getting into. What would you suggest? Kevin asks. Show him mine. Cade looks from Kevin to you before once again averting his eyes. Should just be history to him. It'll ease him in, right? Kevin looks around curiously and then simply nods. Very well. Chiron Hemlock, is that acceptable to you?
Do I know how Cade did Marin or them ever mention how Cade died?
You know via Marin's dream in Arc 2. That's right, baby. Cade died basically in a cave collapse somewhere in what we know it to be the Missing later. However, I'll say here is what you have basically pinned together between the painting of TL and the painting that Cade showed you of the Baker. The paintings are not explicitly the moment you died. They are a moment that defined you as a person. That's what Cade said. Kevin said it's much more complicated than that, but that is what that's basically how Cade comes to understand it. Is the painting is a moment that is who you are as a person, at least from the perspective of the painter. Kevin.
Kevin. I was gonna say Kevin's perceptive. I was like, I have an idea of what mine. I think Chiron would actually be.
Because frankly speaking, I don't think we're ever gonna get an opportunity to explain this in full. What seems to be happening here is that Kevin is a astral observer on, I guess, all living creatures.
Does he know Celestial? Because I know Celestial.
talk to them in Celestial. It's also noun pronouns, by the way.
Which means
Swedish chef, fucking.
But wispier.
Yeah.
I was like, it means Kevin. I don't like the cut of your jib.
Well, I'm not much of a sailor, so I don't see why a jib would be relevant. They do respond, but they respond in common.
Okay.
Or equivalent of common. Who fucking cares? Languages in D&D are fuck shit.
Okay.
The last question, Cade seems to want to avoid you looking at your painting. I'll say you get that pretty handedly, and suggests looking at a different painting first.
Yeah.
And then Kevin asks you if that's acceptable.
Cade, I also have another idea. I don't mind looking at yours. I've heard the history a little bit before, but what if I looked at somebody else? Would that be too damning? Would I just die to see it? You know exactly who I'm asking if I could see their painting as well.
Kevin answers for Cade. That is acceptable by my terms, although I would caution you. Seeing the memory of someone close may make your decision more difficult.
I'll look at Cade's and base it off that, but I probably will want to see it no matter what.
Yeah, you could totally see both, by the way, if you want to. Also, alternatively, if you don't want to see Casey, you want to see Cass, go for it. I'm not gonna fucking tell you what to do. Hey, I obviously have both ready. What are you, crazy?
Cade has actually been good to me even in the afterlife, so I owe it to him.
Okay.
I'll even kind of mention that. Cade, you've done a good service to me, Cade, and you were always by my side even if you weren't there.
Cade laughs at that.
Wish me to see it,
and tilts his head up, trying to find ways to have a conversation without looking at you. Well, I guess screaming at you from up here has done something. And you think back to, I'll just say, the moment in Adelmar where you were basically alerted to TL being behind you.
Right. Okay.
You turn back to where Kevin's easel was, and there is a different painting now sitting on the easel. Look, it's clearly magic fuck shit. The painting before you is dark. It is in fact a painting done entirely in silhouette, with red fire painting an area, and a figure of a man, a Cade Evanol-shaped man, standing on top of a platform of some variety. And you blink. The world fills in around you, Chiron, as if in one moment you were looking at the painting. The next, you blinked, and the next, you were here. It's dark. The dark of night. Somewhere deep in trees and bramble, somewhere where not even the stars shine. A silvery light illuminates here where you are, and as you follow the path of the light, it leads you to the holder, a figure you recognize, more the figure than the face, as Tiel of Kinmar stands here, less than an arm's reach away. Her eyes are a bit wide as magic pulses from her hands. Yes, her eyes, her hands. This is not Tiel in her shroud. This appears to be Tiel long before she had that shroud. Not in its usual, and she holds her magic not in a usual form as a weapon, but as just a light source. And she is looking at, well, I'm sorry, dear boy, but I can't undo what's been done. Raviom Oscelor speaks, looking almost exactly as he does when you see him in his books. Big bald head, big broad shoulders. The only difference here is his mustache and beard still have color before they had gone stark white. Cade sits next to Raviom, knelt in the grass here, wherever here is, as Tiel stands and the men kneel over a pond. A young woman. One you don't recognize. A woman who can't be older than 20. God, is she even 20? Cade is checking on another body beside the woman, a tiefling, a person, but yet another person you don't recognize. And Cade is roused by Raviom's word and sort of scrambles over. Chiron, medicine check, please, doctor.
26.
This is not a living person. Not for long, at least. This is a dead woman. By all medical reasoning, not long for this world. And with a 26. Considering the hands of the time mage, Raviom Oscelor, are actively casting a spell on her, you would venture you are witnessing an attempt at prologuing or saving a life. And one that is precisely failing. Cade slides along the grass and finds the hand of the woman, wrapping both his own around hers. She is whispering something, mumbling, but you can't make out the words. You're actually not sure if they're coherent enough to be words. And Cade speaks. Listen, you don't need to talk now. Save your energy. Just give us. Just Raviom, fetch Arle. Arle can... Cade looks up at Raviom, but the older mage makes a face. And with his mouth pressed into a flat line as to not convey emotion, that conveys plenty. And Cade sort of looks back in sadness. The sun. The woman speaks, audible, just above a whisper, and the heads of all three heroes snap to attention. He whispers more, and once again you fail to hear it. Cade leads in close. Tiel takes a step forward, but Raviom keeps his space, precisely not moving. And you see the lips of the young woman move more. And Cade's eyes flare. Insight check.
27.
Whatever Cade is hearing, he does not like. And his eyes dart. He blinks quickly, frantic. You can almost feel as if you know the speed at which he is thinking. You feel like you've done the same before.
Yeah.
I'm running through a million possibilities and trying to find the one that solves the problem. And then... nothing. Cade turns his head back now to look at her before he speaks. Chiron, you come to the same conclusion Raviom does, as he says it aloud. She's gone.
So, am I, like, visually?
Yes, I was hoping you would ask this question. You are physically here. You're standing here alongside them. You're not, like, floating above this, and it's particularly not, like, just looking through the looking glass a second ago.
Yeah.
You're, like, you can feel the grass beneath your feet. Your shoes. You're wearing shoes. And here's the other thing I'll say. Cade, like dead Cade, and Kevin, nowhere to be seen. You
Okay, so I can't interact with the Cade in that room, that previous room. It's
doesn't seem
I'm kind of like in. It's like Blue Skidoo. I fucking jumped into like the photo essentially.
Yes.
Almost.
Yes. Awesome reference. Fuck yeah, dude. Alternatively, Mario 64.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So if I can't get a hold of the Cade outside the photo, I'll try to walk up. I don't even know if I can interact with him, but I'll still do this anyway. I'll go up to Cade and say, I know you need this right now more than anybody else can imagine. But Cade, it is not your fault. I've been through this. I've been tortured by this. Those words always haunt me. I promise you, this is not your fault. And I try to like reach for his hand to put it in mine, like do like one of these like these things to him, like But I don't know if I can actually like touch him.
Okay,
but, like,
nah, this is really good. Here's what I'm going to say happens in note. I need 2 checks from you. The first is an insight check, and the second is a perception check.
Insight. Okay, insight's a 30. That's pretty good. And then perception.
Yes, sir.
I failed this one. That's not gonna be great. A 10. 10 and 30. If you average them together, that'll be pretty good.
It's not a combined check, unfortunately. Insight.
I know.
When you're speaking to Cade, it is almost like there is a pause. Like he's looking and listening to you. In fact, you would say that he is looking and listening to you. Your words are registering and being heard. But then as you go to touch Cade, the hand just passes through. And very particularly, you remember inside of Arle's memories, when things would sort of slow to a halt, and then when you actually tried to jump kick Arle in her own dream and just sort of like flew through her, it's the same. You're here, but you're also not.
Okay.
Perception, with a 10, not great. You hear the crackling of fire in the distance, and you smell in the air. What the fuck is that? Fire, yes, but there's a lot more. There's a lot more that's complex there, and I'll say with a 10, you're not able to pull anything else out except the smell of blood. The unmistakable and fetid emission of death. People have died here.
Yeah. Right. Listen.
He looks at you once again as if he's listening.
I know this is hard. And I know you gave it your all. And I know you might not even realize what have happened. But you've got to push through. And other people need you out there. You got to realize how important you actually are to many other people besides this one person. That doesn't mean they'll always fade away. But cherish them, hold them, and then keep going for others as well.
Cade, it's TL who speaks, placing a hand on his shoulder as that arm of TL actually passes through you where you stand to find its place on Cade's shoulder. She shakes her head. Cade looks up at her, and whatever TL meant to follow that word with breaks and falls to pieces in her mouth. Red burns at the corners of Cade's eyes, but it's not just sadness. There is a bitterness there, fury. And you swear Cade's eyes take a tip to the right, where you are, and then he nods, and pauses for a few seconds, and nods again. Avion, help me with Mish, he says as Cade gestures to the tiefling man, and moves to pick up the young woman himself. Tiel moves and guides the two men as they carry the bodies of fallen comrades, friends, you're not quite sure. And you blink again. You're somewhere else. Nearby, though, by the looks of it. People shamble about here, in scattered darkness illuminated by some campfires and some smoldering fires that still linger along tents, carts, and crates. Supplies, lodgings, so much wrecked and destroyed. The ground here carved up and stomped flat. The signs of fighting are abundant everywhere. Many people walk around, checking on others, picking things up in satchels and the like, and many still just sit. Blank expressions. The woman sits slumped up against a cart, the tiefling man beside her, and Raviomes stands by them, but his eyes are on Cade. Cade stands off to the side of the clearing. Tiel has distanced herself from him, and you see her speaking to Marin, a much, much younger Marin, who looks up at Tiel with concern, as Cade is arguing with someone. And Cade shoves past the man and climbs atop a covered cart, standing over a tarped crate, finding his footing as he calls out to the whole camp. Stop! Listen to me! Listen, we cannot just turn back! Hey! Cade shouts, and some people turn, but most of them just keep on doing what they're doing. Cade huffs and looks around, and hops down from the cart, sort of looking around in a, fuck, what do I do now?
I was gonna, when he starts doing that, I was gonna be like, even if it didn't help him, I was gonna, Marin, like, even like wonder and amazement to see Marin in her current state, because like,
yes,
I kind of like am wondered by that, but I'm like, Marin, stop listening to her, please. I know she's who she is now, but listen to Cade, please. He's trying his best. He needs to do this. This is what he needs to have happen. Please just listen. I implore you. Please stay away from TL. Please, Marin. Please, anybody else.
Can I get another insight check, please?
$25.
You rush over to Marin, and I'm just gonna for the freaks, the folks, a younger Marin, Marin wearing a sleeveless shirt, very similar to how she tore her sleeves off in the final fight, looking just unfathomably younger. Like you've seen a younger Marin in memories before, but like, man, she's in her absolute fucking prime here, pal. And as you run over to her and speak to her, just as you spoke to Cade, there is no semblance of a reaction. There is not so much of her turning her head. And as I'll say, if you like move through TL to like get to her, she's clearly still looking past you at TL. And your attention is pulled back as Cade is once again moving, passing a fire as he moves over and pulls on the shoulder of someone else familiar. By size alone, really. As you see Emil Dull. The absolute unit of a man, illuminated by firelight. He looks like shit. He is dressed a lot more ruggedly than when we saw him in like nobleman's attire. He's dressed in what I would describe as like pretty like roughshod armor, leather and fur. And he looks piss tired. Play something. Cade insists to a much younger looking and much more stunned looking Emil. What? Now? Brother, please, we have to. Cade grips Emil's arm tightly, and the expression on the orc man shifts. What do you want me to play? Something that'll wake them up. And Emil looks confused, but nods, and Cade moves again, once again taking his position atop the covered cart. And with a mighty strum of Emil's guitar, the sound reverberates through the whole camp. Everyone turns. Everyone pauses. Just long enough for Emil to begin to play, for Cade to speak. I'm going to read a lot here, so buckle in. Stop! All of you, stop! Look at what you're doing and think. Just for a moment, think, please. Picking through what remains For what? So you can turn around, so you can make the journey home. Is that it? Is that all we have to us? After all this, after how far we've come, you're gonna turn back like we haven't. Cade! Enough! You turn as Cade does, to face a man who stands among a small pack of injured soldiers. Soldiers wearing the symbol of the Ront family. A symbol you've seen recently in a very different context. And a man who bears a striking resemblance to one Alec Ront, as you look over the camp to see Talor Ront, the first emperor, before he was that. My friend, it is over. We tried, damn it, we did. We marched through fire and darkness and cut forward, but they cut back. And no matter how many, tosses his hands, there will always be more of them than us, Cade. Look around, man. Look at what we've already lost, who we've already lost. I cannot ask these men to take another step, then I'll ask them! Cade shouts, and it clearly takes Talor aback, and it takes everyone aback. Go ahead.
Even if it doesn't do anything, I'm gonna walk up and be like, "You silence! I don't want to hear another." And I'll like go up to like backhand the
emperor, the king, I guess at the time,
or
prince.
King, yeah,
Prince,
sorry, Alex. I'll try to, I go to backhand him. Obviously, it's gonna like phase like through him.
Yeah, it whips through him. So this would be Alec's great grandfather, I believe. Alec is the fifth. He's the fifth emperor, so he's however many grands that is above him. Yeah.
I was like, don't listen to this man. He's just keep it at he's and I keep like trying to like go after this guy, and it's just not working. And
you're just like swinging left and right and left and right. And your hands are just whiffing through him, and I'll say it's almost like he dissipates for a second as you swipe a hand through, and then sort of reforms.
Stop messing with Cade. Stop messing with others. You shatter. I hate you. And I like keep just go for it. And I'm doing this also just as I want to back up Cade and show that he's right, but at the same time I fucking hate this dude. Everything just.
Yes. Cade shouts, and it clearly takes Talor aback. It takes everyone in the clearing aback. Because all of you cannot truly expect me to believe you want to turn back now. To give up and scurry back like wounded pups, to do precisely what she told all of her little followers we would do. Or what of Donat? What of the others? What if we promised to meet them in Kinmar, and what? We leave them high and dry. We let them walk into a city expecting to meet friends and let them meet only an empty tower. You said you... Hey! Stop it! It is Tiel that speaks again. And she looks deeply uncomfortable by all of this. It is enough. These people have already... It is not enough! Cade kicks a small keg over, and it crashes to the ground with a cracking wood noise. Emil stops playing. It is not enough. We have not done enough because we are not done, because we have more to give. We all had more to give and more to do. Ella is dead. Mish died at her side, and what do you think she told me, dying there? Do you think she told me to turn around? Do you think she said it was over? Do you think Mish said there was a single damn thing not worth fighting for? Did any of you know him? Did any of you know him to be the kind of man to give up? Look at me. All of you, damn it, look at me! Because Ella was born under a starless sky, and Ella died without ever having seen the sun rise over the trees, over the crest of the hill, without suns spilling into her bedroom. Look at me! Do you really believe she would have told you to turn back? Any of you? Look at me and tell me you believe that to be true. That Ella, who couldn't so much as raise a sword to defend herself, Ella, who spent every moment doing everything she could to keep others safe, do any of you really think she would ever tell us now is the time to give up? Tell it to me. Tell me you think it's true and I'll believe you too. Because I know what she told me, and it wasn't to wave a white flag now. Do you know what her last vision was? After all this, she told me she saw it. In one last vision, she saw the sun rise over the city of Kinmar. Investigation check.
And she said, "Please live."
Well done.
5.
You don't notice anything.
He's invested.
Sorry about it, pal.
Yeah.
Ella saw the sun, even if it was a vision of the world without her in it, and she still fought for it. Surely we can do the same. Surely we can fight for the world we still live in. Yes, yes. What sits around us, and he gestures across the room. I don't know how many friends we've lost tonight, how many friends we will not see again, and I know it's scary. Do you think I'm not afraid? I'm fucking terrified. But fear is their weapon. We all left home, every one of us. I do not pretend to know your reasons, but I am sure you knew the risks. We all left home, knowing we were outnumbered, knowing for every one of us there was more of them than we could count, knowing that the darkness wouldn't break, knowing we'd spend every night and day hoping for enough light to see in front of our faces, and knowing that at the end of the day, we did not know what we were going to do, how we would fight, how we would find others. There were even others to find, and if we found others, how we would kill her, how we would stop she who broke the sky. Outnumbered, in the dark and uncertain in every step. I've counted the odds on my fingers every damn day, and we did not know what would come next. But we knew we could only find out if we tried. And by my count, it is all the same. There are more of them than us. The sky only darkens still, and we still don't know how to kill her. Yes, yes, and yes over and over. But what has changed? Huh? Pavan, free, for the first time in what, 80 fucking years? The Shamari march out from behind impenetrable walls to fight alongside us where it's dangerous. The vampires of Tifslaya, who I will remind you do not need us, are willing to support us. They heed messages from us. Master Ocelor, and he turns to Ravio, as you say, even the giants are marching to stand among us. We have done something that has not been seen since the last setting of the sun. We have brought all of Destenia from east to west to stand up, to no longer cower by dying fires and hope the night will just pass. And above all, look around you. They attack us. Now, in the greatest numbers I've ever seen them march in, those of the Broken Sky marching as an army? Against what? A few dozen radicals hiding in the woods? That is what has changed. They are afraid. For the first time, they see us as a threat. They see something that must be stopped. Fear goes both ways. It is a weapon with 2 points, and it does not flow in a single direction, because yes, we are outnumbered, and yes, the sky grows darker. Yes, we do not know how to take she who broke the sky and pluck her from that sky, but they are afraid. Because we have proven ourselves to be a threat, and what's more, we've proven ourselves a chance. That is what has changed. We have a chance now. We are that chance. The clearing sits quiet. The crackling of the fire, the only sound besides Cade's breathing, as he has yelled himself. Red.
That's it? That's all you're gonna say? Nothing? You're gonna let the fire cackle? Marin? You're not just gonna focus on TL? TL, you're not gonna focus on your own ambitions? Emil? Are you gonna do anything? Are you still a hero right now? Taylor? I don't even think you're worth anything.
Talar.
Taylor? I don't even need to remember your name. With spit.
Can I have a... what do I even call this?
Nobody's gonna listen to Cade? People are dying? And you could do something about it. I could have done something about it.
Give me one more investigation check.
$16.
Hold on to that for a second. Cade breathes. It's shaky. You get the impression that when you watched him thinking back there, he was thinking all of this, and it has now run to the end of its rope. And Cade speaks now words he hadn't thought of. I'm going to bury a friend. Again. In fact, I'm going to bury many tonight. But then, I'm going to march. And Cade points forward across the clearing. I'm going to march to Kinmar. I'm going to finish what I started, and by the gods above and beneath, I hope to march into that city with every single one of you at my side. But I can only do that if you choose to march with me. Once again, silence, as Cade's hand hangs there in the air. And I'll say with your check, once again, countless eyes across the clearing are dodging his gaze, explicitly not looking at him when he asked. But someone rises to their feet. A tabaxi with dark fur, almost invisible in the darkness, more visible by his eyes glimmering in the dark. Well, it's probably for the best you're not leading the way, my friend. He speaks, and heads turn. A nervous energy sort of rolls across the clearing. Because Kinmar is that way. A nervous, laughter breaks. Just a few people across the clearing, and Cade smiles. And in that moment, he looks like 1,000 pounds have been lifted off his back. He adjusts the angle of his arm, following that of the tabaxi man. Right. Kinmar's that way. Emil raises to his feet and puts his guitar down at his side, his shadow shifting as he points up and casting over a large number of members of the clearing. Kinmar's that way. Talorant looks up at the man atop the cart and shakes his head, but a shake that turns into a nod as he pulls his spell sword from his hip and points. Kinmar's that way. And voice by voice, it echoes across the clearing, not a chant or a rallying cry, not at first at least, a choice made, an individual making a choice again and again and again until it ripples in the air, and everyone is on their feet. You see less among them, standing on a barrel to be taller. Faces from paintings in the guild halls that you recognize but don't know. You see Arale, younger, with softer eyes, and a red-headed man by her side with a familiar-looking glove that now points towards Kinmar. You turn back over your shoulder. You see Tiel, her arm raised. And you see Marin hesitate a moment longer and raise hers all the same. Talor climbs atop the cart with Cade, and the two briefly exchange a few words, before Talor embraces Cade, and the two swap places, and the Emperor-to-be begins to command the soldiers and the heroes, ordering some to fetch shovels, others to pack, many to collect the dead. And Cade hops down on the cart, from the cart, I should say. He looks to his left, where Raviome stands. Insight check.
That is a 20.
Raviome has mixed feelings about what just happened. And his expression is not nearly as inspired or driven as anyone else here. And he moves over to Cade. I heard it too, my friend. And Cade nods. I know. But Raviome forces a small smile and pats Cade on the shoulder. And Cade, who stands with tears welling in his eyes, returns the nod. And then hugs Raviome. And Cade cries. And with that, the painting stops? Is that the right word for it? You're not entirely sure. You can't help but notice the room once again fades into view in a blink, in a blink, in a blink. The sound of the fire is gone. And with rows and columns and painting, Kevin's easel and work area you can't help but notice that Cade has averted himself more from where he was and is standing once again looking away from you, but looking further away from you. Chiron Hemlock, Kevin speaks. Almost not even giving you a millisecond to adjust to you coming back into the place of death. Do you believe yourself to be ready now to see your own painting? Or would it be more helpful to see more? Or to wait longer? There is no rush, unless you wish for there to be one. You may wait here as long as you like. Many do. And Kevin gestures to Cade as they finish that thought.
I think Chiron, since he's been avoiding eye contact with most of these guys in his room, I think this will maybe make Cade feel better, but I'll do what I was planning to do with Cade in the other room. Do the handshake thing and let him actually look into my face when I say this to make it, he can see straight into the eyes that I have here. I'm so sorry. I know you would have done anything for them, just as I would have done anything for her.
I'm
so sorry.
Move towards Cade, and I'm going to say you cross in front of him, and he's ready, realizing what you're doing. He's like, oh, let me move away. Chiron's doing something. And then you catch him by the hand and pull him, by an arm. And you speak. Cade in the painting was crying at the end, as he basically hid his tears in Raviom's chest. And here, he's not crying, but he looks drained, miserable. And as you speak, he forces a smile back to his face in a manner that is fake, but god damn it, it's convincing. And he nods. I did do everything I could. And that's the difference, man. That's what makes us who we are, is that we do everything we can. That's why when Kevin asks you a question, it's gonna be really hard. You have to make the right decision. Fuck! Sorry, I'm not allowed to tell you what happens.
I guess if we died trying to do our best, we're just two guys trying to do our best out here.
There's a lot worse ways to go. I mean, hell, we could have been accountants.
Could have been a bard.
Boom, got him. Kid's like, I like singing. Chiron Hemlock. Kevin speaks again. Do you believe yourself to be ready? I'm going to ask you as a player, just based on, it's 12:30 for you.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, cool. Do you want...
As long as you are.
Yeah, no, I got plenty all the time in the world, baby. So, realistically, you can ask anything you want, but I have Cass and Chiron's paintings prepared for you. Your choice. I would say Cass's is up to you. It's a matter of how much you want to reveal. You have to look at your own painting. That's not an option.
Oh, really? Cade, did you see? Did you ever look at the woman's painting that died there?
Ella. Her name was
Yes.
Ella. Yeah. A lot of times, actually.
I
Hold on.
turn to Kevin.
I'm trying to finish
Oh,
something.
sorry,
I'm trying to think of how I want to say this, because I don't want to give away too much, because it actually is relevant.
Yeah.
I lied to them when I was there. Then. Ella didn't see the sun in her last vision. But after seeing her painting, I know what I did then was the right thing. It's simply a matter of I didn't know that it was the right thing until way, way too late.
And when I turn to Kevin, I re-avert my gaze. Even though, Chiron's still interested a little bit in Kevin because he's probably never seen a creature like this, and he's probably fascinated. But I think hiding takes more precedence to him.
I'll say you can probably like steal a glance at Kev. Give me just give me a perception check. Just keep this simple.
That is a 19.
You get like a passing glance at Kevin. Kevin seems a lot like less, frankly, caring about your decision to not be seen. But like, they do eventually turn away and look away. And in that moment, like you sort of catch their face is featureless. It's like perfect. Like there's no pores. They are human-ish, human adjacent maybe. But they're like a blank canvas, I guess is the word I would use for it. Their hair is like this perfect similar sheen. Their skin is this untextured thing to it. They are almost like a facsimile of a person.
Okay.
But there is something, I'll just throw this out. There is something like friendly and almost comforting about them. In this place that is, you were told point blank, the place between death and life, there is they have no threatening aura about them whatsoever.
I will turn to Kevin and say, Kevin.
Yes, Chiron Hemlock?
Please let me see the half-elf Cassandra's picture, please.
There is another one of those pauses. A computations amount of time. And then Kevin speaks. Cassandra Sagehold. Yes, please, give me a moment. And you swear to God you didn't even look away that time, you didn't even blink, but yes, the painting on the easel snaps and changes. And oh fuck, you know exactly when that is. It is a painting of a skyline mostly. A city with stars dotted along a night sky. And a rooftop. And on that rooftop, there are two small figures sat. And you blink. Please play. Uh-oh. You blink. And suddenly you're elsewhere. But in a moment, you do know exactly where you are. A young girl, probably 8, maybe younger, walks along the halls of a very, very nice house. Not the nicest thing. This is not the Ondal estate, but this is a wealthy estate. A place with gardens and paintings on the walls and candles and servants. And a young girl in fine clothing walks along a path. Chiron. I'd give you a role here, but frankly, you don't need one. This is Sagehold Manor. This is a place you are intimately familiar with. A place that you've walked the exact same halls of as the young girl you're watching now. Young girl with bouncy little blonde hair and a dress that is muddy at the feet, but nice overall. You hear in the distance someone calling. It is an older voice, a woman. Chiron! Chiron! And then you hear something to the tune of, where is that boy? And the girl is walking. Can I get an investigation check?
I have something I would probably say in response to that, but
give me the check first and then go for it. I'm going to tell you a little more about where you are in the scene.
18.
Yes. So firstly, yes, you are here in, as I mentioned, Sagehold Manor. a place you are familiar with. And you are in a hall, a long hall that goes sort of abuts one of the gardens of the manor. And you basically see a young blonde girl, a young Cassandra, walking down the hallway. She's going to be passing you in a matter of steps. And you notice that she has something hidden in sort of like the furls of her dress, like a kid with their shirt up, tucked in, holding something. Yes.
Cassandra, Tower was me. They always blame it on me anyway. Tell her it was me. I can't stand when you're in trouble. I'll say it like I told you. The mud, I told you a bad spot to go in. Please just tell her it was me.
Fuck. You watch as Cassandra moves past you, doesn't pause for you like Cade did, and continues moving on. And I'll say it's the strangest thing, because it's deja vu, but it's deja vu that you can explicitly pick out of a lineup, because this kind of thing happened a lot. You two would get in trouble, and you would try to take the blame, or Cass would try to take the blame for you. But this one is a special time that happened. And in this moment, you actually can't place exactly when this is, but you know exactly the kind of thing you two have done. And then you blink. Chiron. A young Cassandra Sagehold climbs out of a window and up onto a trellis, still with one hand holding onto her dress, holding something tucked into it, as she climbs up onto a roof. A much too practiced method of escaping a room and heading up. As she climbs onto the green tiled roof of the Sagehold Manor, where a young boy sits. A young boy in also noble clothing, but that is explicitly very new, practically unworn. And she moves across the roof to you. Hi! And
never fit.
The girl...
The clothes never fit.
The girl moves over, and you are standing here on the roof as you look over at a young Cass, and you. A young you. Mom said you're gonna live here now.
Yeah.
Is that what young Chiron sounds like?
No. Do you want me to voice act young Chiron?
Oh yeah, I do, baby!
Yeah, that's fine. Is it really okay? This place seems pretty fancy. I'm used to... it's... One room is bigger than my entire house. You sure this is okay?
Young Cass moves over and pretty without airs and without hesitation sits down next to young Chiron. He opens up that little wrap she has done to her dress and reveals, I'm just gonna say it's a bunch of cookies. And doesn't explicitly offer Chiron one, but just kind of leaves them there on the space between the two on the roof. She's totally cross-contaminating. And
confidence.
Cass places her hands on her knees under her, on top of her dress. Well, it's okay. It's quiet, usually, and you can't really run inside the house, and Mom doesn't like it when you track mud, but it's okay. I don't know.
These cookies smell so good. I'm allowed to have one? Usually it'd be maybe you have to have a birthday to have a cookie. So I can have this?
Cass smiles at that as you sort of, young Chiron pulls her from what she was thinking about and smiles. Yeah, I got a bunch. These ones are my favorite. And she points to little, what are the ones that have like the strawberry jam in the middle? You know what I'm talking about?
Like a tart?
No, yeah, but it's like two shortbread cookies with like the strawberry jam. Whatever those are called. She goes, these are my favorite. Oh, and I want this one. And she snags one of the chocolate chip ones and begins to eat it. There are plenty of other chocolate chip though.
I can't believe it's been so long since I've had sweets like that. I know you like them, Chiron. You can take them. I might not have them, but you can. And baby Chiron, or not baby.
Baby, that's fine.
Younger Chiron.
Muppet babies!
He is not shy at all about it. He digs in there like a fucking pig, man. He goes in. And he just engulfs. He's not worried about anything. Germs, anything. Just digs. Like it's the first meal he's had. And Chiron goes, no, boy, you're going to spoil your appetite in front of the girl, too. She got him for both of you. Come on, Chiron.
You think about this, and you think about the idea of young Chiron spoiling his appetite. And then you watch, and I'm going to say as a grown adult, with some amount of horror, as these two kids eat like 25 cookies, and like, it's, you don't know what time of day it is, but you have a distinct feeling it's around dinner time, and you're like, that's gonna fuck you up so bad, kid. And you watch. What else is there to do? God.
It's a miracle I can still run based off what you're doing, Chiron.
Ah, it's so good.
Chiron. Oh! Wow! Yum, yum.
I know, they're so good, right?
This is so good. Cassandra, you did such a good job.
And
It's very nice to meet you.
And she swallows. You can call me Cass. I don't like Cassandra. It's long.
Okay.
And
Cass.
what's your name?
My name?
Yeah. What's your name?
Chiron, tell her. You can do it. Don't be shy. It's Chiron Hemrock.
Chiron Hemrock?
I don't know why.
She repeats, mishearing.
Hemlock.
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 Like the plant.
I don't know what plant is.
You don't know what plants are?
Not many.
And you blink.
Chiron.
And you...
It's a hemlock plant. You should know this. We taught you this many times.
And you blink. And you are somewhere else. But you're somewhere else that is once again familiar, because you're still at Sagehold Manor. And you're still here. In fact, you're in a room that you have spent a lot of time in, more time than the roof, probably. Cassandra's bedroom. And you can hear in the distance they're still calling and still looking for not just Chiron now, but looking for Cassandra too, as voices in the house call for the two children of Sagehold Manor. But you two are tucked underneath Cass's bed, a tall four-post bed, as you are huddled next to a book. Can I get a... what do I even call this? Just give me an investigation check.
Natty 1.
It's a book, and you remember it, but that's it. It is a book that you and Cass, young Cass and young Chiron, are flipping through.
They always said I was a bad influence on you. Little did they know that it might have been the other way around.
And, oh, here it is!
He says with a grin.
Cass points at a page, and on it is a diagram sketch of a plant. Hemlock plant. See, this is it. This is you! And she points to it.
That's me? But that's way more... looks so good. I don't know. It looks like it's great. I hope to be as good as that plant one day.
Yeah, you're gonna grow up and you're gonna be a plant like this with all these little white flowers, and I'm gonna be like a place that holds magic people.
A place that holds magic people? A place that holds magic people.
It appears young Cass believes that when you grow up, you become what your last name is, so she will turn into a place that holds sages, and you will turn into a plant.
Cassandra, that's pretty clever. I don't know what you're talking about.
Me neither. But you see, hemlock plant, it's really cool because it's a poison, but you can actually use it as not a poison.
Okay. I think poison might be dangerous, but
Everything's dangerous. But
poison.
You gotta go.
Chiron. Poison it helps a lot. You're gonna get to love poison pretty frequently.
Poison's bad, but poison can help a lot. As you remember explicitly where you just heard the thing you said for the first time. Your cats. See, when I grow up, I want to be like a medicine person. I want to take medicine and use it to make people feel okay. Make them feel safe and good. And then
Me too. That you know what? That sounds super nice. And since you were so nice to me, Cassandra, I'll help you. I'll be your assistant. And older Chiron says, I never let her get to do what she wanted. I never was able to help her. I tried. But it's gonna be great. We're gonna help all the other people who get sick. And then one day we'll be the flower and you'll be able to hold me in your little sage hold, whatever it is. We'll be the best team of partners ever. Cass and Chiron.
You begin that thought. And ooh, this is interesting. Give me an insight check.
23.
As a kid, you never in a million years would have noticed it. Cass probably didn't notice it herself. But as an adult, when you offer to be Cass's assistant, the young child explicitly does not like that. She furrows her brow and makes a weird face about it. But as you continue to speak and as you go on, and then as you enumerate out partners, Cass and Chiron, partners, a bright, brilliant smile fills the young girl's face. Partners. Yeah.
Partners.
I like that. We should be partners. You want to take a blood oath?
Yeah, but Cass, won't your parents wonder potentially what happened?
And
They're gonna yell at you. They're gonna scold you like always.
Cass grabs young Chiron's arm and basically pulls you two out of underneath bed and announces proudly, "We're gonna take a blood oath!"
O negative. AB positive.
No, stop it! Damn it, stop it making blood types canon, you son of a bitch! And you blink. And you're... Why does it have to end there? Because you're back in the room with Kevin and Cade.
Take me back.
You're back in the room with Kevin and Cade, but you aren't done. Because while you're being pulled forcibly back into this room, you remember so much more. You remember you and Cass running along rooftops in the city of Pavin. You remember outrunning a gang of bullies. You remember being yelled at by old Mr. Goebel, the shoemaker. You remember Cass punching Dominic T's nose and breaking it, and then you helping him set it back before you both continue to run away.
I grab Kevin by the scuff of his collars. Take me back. Look at me and take me back now.
You grab Kevin and pull them by the tunic, and they look at you with a completely blank, unaffected expression. I'm afraid that's not how it works, Chiron Hemlock. The paintings are the paintings. They are moments. I don't keep anything else of Cassandra Sagehold.
And I look down where the blood oath, like, the marking would have been, whatever.
Where'd you take it?
I don't have Feudor.
Thumb?
I would say, like, the underside of, like, your wrist, like, right here. Probably not too deep, so it wouldn't there. It would be less deep. Like, it's stupid, but probably, like, right there somewhere.
You look at where you and Cassandra stole the pin from the manor seamstress, whatever, to take your blood oath. And there's not a mark there. You didn't make it big enough of a gash or anything to leave a scar. However, you know exactly where it is. It's like you can see a mark. Like, you know the mark is there.
So you could just stay here and watch this over and over again. You could do that.
Cade speaks from behind you. You can. You can look at every single painting in this gallery. You can wait here forever. In some cases, you have to wait here forever. And you can stand around and you can wait for people to show up, and you can greet them and tell them that death isn't scary, and ask them what's going on in the world of the living. But Chiron, you don't have to do that, because you have a choice. You get to have a choice. But you only get that choice if you look at your own.
If I look at that photo, she's gonna die, Cade. And it's all my fault. She was my partner. She's gonna die. I can't do it. She's gonna die. I failed her.
You feel a hit across your body as Cade has slammed himself into you and arms wrap around you. I know. They always die, Chiron. That's what it is. No matter how many times you look at it, they don't change. They always die, Chiron. She always dies in that clearing. She's always gonna offer you the cookies. And she's always gonna die, Chiron. Because that's what happened. Listen to me, man! That's what happened. You can't change what happened. But you can change what happens next. Chiron Hemlock, Kevin speaks. Do you believe yourself ready now to see your own painting?
I told you that you need to embrace those and cherish them in your heart. I can't even follow my damn own advice. She would say the same thing to me. Show me the photo. It's what she would want. Show me the photo.
And Cade releases you from the hug and holds a hand on your shoulder as Kevin begins. Well then, moving back as you sort of like pulled them off of the stool, and painting set up, and the canvas once again changes.
As we're doing this, I'd probably place where I think the locket is instinctively, but I can't feel it, and it just because I don't know, going for there for comfort and just can't get there while this is happening.
Unlike the other paintings, which Kevin just sort of presented with no anything, Kevin lets the painting appear on the easel and then collects their brush. They tap it in a little, looks like a teacup of water, and then bring their palette back to their hand. All right then, let us begin. And you blink. That'll work. A herongun, a rabbit folk, in a tan coat, stands before a small group of similarly tan coat-clad individuals. You, Chiron, you stand among them. You with a familiar face at your side, a very familiar face, a blonde half-elf with her hair pulled into a tightly knotted braid at the back of her head. You're both wearing those tan coats, with an insignia stitched on the left breast pocket. You remember it. You remember unstitching it from that very same coat, actually. The Pavan Medical Corps. It was not meant to be a permanent thing. It was an emergency. It was this emergency. The rabbit, the doctor, paces in front of you all. I don't know how to tell you all this. They speak. Dr. Pang speaks. Their name ricochets off the back of your mind like a headache coming on all too suddenly. Shout out to longtime patron Panic Pang. I don't know how to tell you all this, but it seems what we believe to be contained and sorted is not that. It is far worse because the wind has shifted, and what we believe to be an illness transmitted by touch has turned to something worse. There is muttering around you as everyone all looks around, and someone shushes the crowd. We have extremely little to go off here. As whatever this is, and I am not calling it a plague, but it is airborne. It seems to get into the body via the lungs from there and spread. And to your side, you feel a nudge as Cass, as your sister, leans over. What do we do?
Am I here? Just curious. When I'm doing this, is it similar to? Is it two? Like, I just want to make sure it's not. I didn't change it. It didn't change how it worked or something like that. There's like two different versions.
There are two. There are two Chirons here. One is younger, and I'll say explicitly not wearing a mask. But we'll cover that in a little while. So hold on. And then there is you. You really, I mean, you can't see yourself. You're in first person. But you can see yourself back then. Dressed in your medical
but it's not me.
coat.
So when you say like knocks over the Chiron, it's not like the right.
Interesting. No, you do not.
That's why
you do not feel that, but you do remember that moment.
Okay. Okay. That's the only reason I was a little confused.
Good, no, it's a good question.
This one wasn't okay.
Actually, that's a really interesting point. I'm gonna say you do feel it. You feel it now in the dream time.
Okay.
Cass asked you quietly, "What do we do?" What did Chiron respond with?
We help as many as we can. We have to save them. We made a promise. CNC.
CNC Music Factory. She responds.
And
good.
And Chiron goes, "No, just run away. You can't beat it. No, you fools. You overconfident fool. Tell her run away. We can do it. We can beat her. We can beat it. We gotta save as many as we can. The more that die, the more it'll be on our conscience. We gotta do it. And I put like, well, the other Chiron puts like his hand out to like where the blood pack would go, and they kind of do like a little.
Oh, they do like a bump.
They line up their like things like this, like raise it up like that.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Damn you.
You say your thoughts, like now you knowing what happens next, but that is not what Chiron said back then. And when you say we gotta help everyone we can, and you and Cass do your equivalent of a handshake, Cass launches her hand in the sky. What can we do? As in, right now, Dr. Peng, what can we do? What do you need? Yes. My friends, we are effectively starting from null. Go ahead.
Old Chiron would kind of be like, I know he's not doing anything, but he'd be like blocking, like, no, interceding, like, in between the Peng and...
You're like,
like, obviously they see right through me, yeah.
You push through the memory, the visage of this rabbit folk doctor, and almost try to, like, physically block the space as if you're going to stop the diagnosis, the commands. Yes, my friends, we are starting from effectively null. So, what we need to do in this moment is get that null to as high a number as we possibly can. We need to try every remedy, every treatment, every potion and tincture and concoction we can think of until we can figure out what has any sort of effect. And then...
None of them work.
And then we need to turn that effect around into something we can use until we find a cure. Chiron.
None of them work.
Chiron, can I have a history check?
18.
This plague is cured. But... never mind. Cass intercedes. Chiron and I can start gathering. We're fast, and I know where to look.
Yeah, she's excellent at just climbing almost anything. If you need to get high trees, she can get there. You can send me down a little, like down to the ground. I like being down to the ground, comfortable. If you need to dig anywhere, I could probably do that. But if you need to go anywhere with Cass, you can go upstairs. No, both of you don't understand. Go back to Sage Hold now. You fools! You can apologize. You can ask for forgiveness, beg for forgiveness. Don't send Chiron away, but you can at least save her. Stop, and we can do it together. And I'll save whatever the most infested city there is. Get us over there, because we're fast. We can get any ingredients. We can do anything, right, Cassandra? Oh, sorry, force of habit. Cass, right?
You and Cass take the room over, and there's like an infectious charisma to it as you guys are jumping ahead of the reality of the problem to how we're gonna solve this shit. Fuck yeah, boots on the ground, Doctors Without Borders, bitch. And the Haringen, Dr. Peng, thank you, Dr. Sagehold, Dr. Hemlock. Here, these should help keep at least some of the toxins from you. And Dr. Peng opens a leather satchel, one full of masks. Chiron, you end up with one of these masks, a bone color with a red strip across the forehead. And Chiron, you blink. You wish you hadn't. With the opening of your eyes and a breath in, you breathe in. And even through your mask, it hurts. It burns. You're here. Somewhere. Somewhere that is familiar and was once incomplete in your memory, but is now wholly complete and real. It's a hill out past Kamar Grove, where You and Cass used to run when you didn't want to head home, when you wanted to hide from tutors after lunch, or when you just didn't want to see your parents. But you're here now, and you're not a kid anymore. And you breathe in, and it burns. Chiron, medicine check.
That's 30.
Oh, baby! You cannot tell if that breath means you have it, or if it is still a matter of time until you do have it. Good. Oh. But
and Chiron would...
Yeah, go.
Oh, go ahead.
No, that's fine, good.
He would say, proud of Cass, like, Cass, you think if we are able to cure this, that your parents will respect me a little bit more? I want them to respect me like they respect you. And that way we can be together if this all works out.
Chiron, you don't know if you have it. But you know she does. Cass. Cass stands there a few steps ahead of you, and she has a basket under your arm. You have one just the same, and she's picking flowers. Itov flowers, you think they're called. They're used in potions. Potions for something to do with the water. You can't remember because you're distracted. No, you're the one doing the distracting as you talk about your parents with Cass, as you distract her from the matter at hand, as you distract her from the fact that she's not wearing her mask because the mask isn't going to do anything else for her.
Put this on! What, Chiron? Stop! That medicine doesn't work! We've already tried that! Put the mask on, Chiron! Put it on! And he goes over to, like, Chiron goes through his, like, stuff, the older Chiron, goes through his stuff, realizes he doesn't have any of his stuff on, starts, like, trying to, like, fabricate, like, a mask out of, like, anything he can find, tree wood, branches, anything, just doesn't even work, probably, because he can't even interact with it in the way he probably was. Put it on! Please, Cass! Put it on! Chiron, stop touching the medicine! That's not... Go to Cass!
But that's not what Chiron did. Because Chiron was trying to distract him. And Cass responds to his question about whether or not their parents, Cass's parents and Chiron's adoptive ones, will respect him after all this. Well, after we cure this, and where world-renowned, respected doctors, CNC, Cass and Chiron, I mean, it doesn't matter if they respect us, we're gonna have all the awards from our award-winning, medicine-saving magic.
I think older Chiron is almost, like, defeated by how pitiful, like, his younger self, you know, is, even if it's not, like, you know, he's just disappointed. And he goes to, like, try to, like, hug Cass, even if he can't, you know, it's corporeal or not, like, very spectral or something like that.
After pulling at the ground and the flowers and the wood and trying to make a mask, but nothing coming to your hands, after hearing yourself play dumb and try to talk around the problem with Cass, to try to pretend like it's not happening, you rush over and slide and your knees hit the ground and you try to wrap your arms around Cass, but you phase through her once again, and in this moment you are knelt in the same place Cass is in the grass as she plucks the flowers. And you blink. And you wish you hadn't. Because, Chiron, wake up! You're shaken. When were you asleep? But you are in a bed, a cot, and you're jolted awake as you see Cass and Dr. Peng and a few other doctors gathered around, and Cass is pouring a mixture from one vial into a smaller one and mixing it with something. He moves over to an elderly gnome woman and squats down. Here you go, dear. Try this. And the old woman drinks. Medicine check.
$26.
With 26, with medical knowledge, all you are left with is hope. Hope that this will work when, scientifically speaking, it should not. And Chiron, you blink. It did not work. I'm gonna read a large thing in a second here, and it's gonna be rough. So this is a content warning for everyone, and I'm going to very quickly pee. You have about 90 seconds to prepare yourselves. Okay. You blinked. It did not work. Out of the way! A man yells it. A Loxodon, an elephant man, wearing a guild signet, which as he pushes through a crowd of people, you among them, you watching this, as you are now on your feet chasing this Loxodon man, and you don't remember why until you do, until you see that he is holding you by the back of your jacket as he barrels through and all but shoves you towards the door as people sort of swarm after him, trying to grab you, a doctor. And he goes, "Go! Go, doctor!" And you make your way through a tent door and you check your hands. You check your hands. You make sure it's still there. An elixir, a potion, a cure. The cure. You have to hope. A recipe, one you and a dozen other medics spent days and nights working on. The one that has to be it. The one that has to work so you can all make 1,000 more when you tell them it works. A cure. The cure. The one you snatched from the other doctor the moment it was sealed in that vial. The one you said you could run across town because you were the one who could carry it the fastest. The one you were wrong about getting there the fastest because you couldn't make it, because your lungs don't work like they used to anymore, Chiron. The one that was lifted up with you as this man you never got the name of, wearing a guild signet, carried you through the streets and busted through people to get you here. So you could get it to her before it was too late. But as you move across a packed room of this makeshift hospital wing, you are finally stopped. Not by physical ability, but by a face. The Haringen face that stands familiar, the eyes and whiskers and ears of Dr. Peng give you a look they do not want to give you. Doctor, I'm sorry, but the rot has accelerated. And you burst past Dr. Peng, who walks after you but does not chase, and your feet know the path well now, through cots and rows of sleeping rolls, and you, watching yourself run, follow the same path as you remember all the same, through people. Gods above and beneath, so many people, so many infected, and so many more risking infection just to be here with them. And you move past another member of the medical corps, and you set to the ground, your knees hitting hard as you take your place by a bed. Except it's not a bed. They're out of those. It is a loosely laid blanket and a pillow made of a satchel stuffed with straw. But that doesn't matter, because there, in front of you, lies Cass. Cheeks red, sweat on her brow, chest rising and falling unevenly, shaky little breaths, but breaths. Breathing. And breathing means alive. Medicine check, Chiron.
30 again.
Cass opens her eyes. And Chiron, they almost look like roots. The white and red pigments that streak across Cass's eyes, that's in part where the name has come from. The rot. The rot. Like a pox on a crop or harvest, the way it spreads across the body. The way it begins at the lungs and goes up.
Chiron, that was so fast. You just left.
Chiron, it wasn't fast. It had been most of a day. Had it been a full day, and you breathed. It hurts. You're getting worse. A voice calls out. A man's. A man sat to your left. A man you, at the time, didn't even notice was there, but now you, later, watching this, couldn't stop thinking about him being sat there. The man to your left, at the head of a bed next to where you kneel. Doctor. The man speaks, a goblin man with nothing but fear and desperation in his eyes. He points to your hand and doesn't finish the question, his other hand absently brushing the hair of a younger goblin boy in the bed beside Cass's. The vial sits in your hand. Your glove holds it so tight, a part of your mind worries you might shatter it, a part that feels guilty for pulling itself away from Cass, and then angry at that guilt. The vial. Sample. What did you say to Cass?
Please live. Cass. Please. It's all my fault. I wasn't fast like you. Please. Please live, Cass.
Chiron,
Cass speaks again, and you almost startle at the noise.
I kept thinking about what I would say if I saw you again.
She reaches along your arm and finds your hand and uses that touch of your hand as a guide as she reaches up.
I guess it's not about seeing or not seeing.
As she moves up your arm until she can barely reach your shoulder.
Doctor,
The goblin repeats to your side as you sit there still. As then you didn't say anything. Silent behind a mask that leaves no expression. A defense to the plague, but a defense long since breached. Cass speaks.
when we were little, and Mom told me they brought you home. Someone to play with, a new friend. I thought for a second it was a lie. I thought they wanted you to replace me. Like I had been bad, and they were gonna get rid of me because it.
No, Cass.
Is that you now or you then saying that?
Both.
Okay. Love that.
No.
As you
it was
repeat
never that.
the words you said then. Oh, Cass, it was never that.
It was a funny thought, if you think about it. Because bringing you home, you made home, our home. You made it ours. Because before you, it wasn't a place I ever wanted to be. And you're the best thing that came out of that house, Chiron.
Old new Chiron, Dream Chiron, puts his arm, the blood thing, up to their wrist. They match their wrist. You saved my life, Cass. You saved my life.
Even without
I
her
love
sight,
you so much.
Cass matches the same crossing of hands and then moves her hand and intertwines her fingers with yours.
You know,
I love you so much, Cass.
I know,
I'm sorry.
I know.
She repeats at everything you say.
Chiron, I love you so much. You're the family that I wanted before I knew I wanted it. I should have figured it out faster. You will. You'll know. Chiron, you have the cure.
What are you doing, you fool? Enjoy it, please. Talk to her more. I can't. Talk to her. Say something else. You're there. Say something else to her.
But Chiron,
Embrace.
You know. And you don't want it to be true. Like Cade warned you about. It doesn't change. Because you didn't say anything else. Because Cass finished the phrase.
Chiron, you are the cure. Please, Chiron. Please, live.
And with the vial in your hand. Medicine check, Chiron.
28.
He is further along than you thought. Further along than you hoped. Further along than you convinced herself, or yourself, she would be. Medicine check, Chiron.
22.
You hadn't planned to administer it to someone with this much developed rot. This is well beyond what you had. Medicine check, Chiron.
25.
It won't work. Medicine check.
29.
It has to work. It's the only thing that could work. Medicine check.
30.
But if it doesn't work because it was used on the wrong subject, you will have wasted this much time. Medicine check.
I don't care. 20.
This cure, this antidote will have been for nothing. A conclusion wrongfully drawn from the wrong testing.
It has to be it.
Medicine check.
21. This is it.
You fail. Not the check. You fail to convince yourself that with any scientific reasoning, the cure would work on Cass. Kyle, the memories come back to you as you recount every thought and every test you ran in your mind, kneeling there on the floor of this makeshift hospital. 1,000 permutations and ideas, possibilities you sped through in your head. But these aren't your thoughts. Not anymore. Because these are his. Yours, but one's already thought. Decisions already made. The vial. The cure. Cass. The vial. The cure. Yourself. The vial. The cure. And the boy next to you on a bed. The boy whose name you don't know. Just the next person. The person nearest that needs help. you hear a voice. But much like in Cade's painting, you're here, alone, a passenger. Chiron Hemlock, it's Kevin. Death.
No.
This is your painting,
She didn't die.
but it still lacks
I can.
the finishing touch. The last stroke,
There is no finishing touch.
the last stroke of the brush. You know what happens next. And
No.
And in this exact moment, or absence of a moment, you are the only one who does. Or can.
No.
Chiron Hemlock. What happened to the vial?
I gave it away.
To who?
The person who needed it most.
You watch as you make a decision that you regret, even if it was the right one. Chiron opens the vial. He takes a syringe and he fills it with the contents. He moves to the goblin boy sat beside Cass.
Old Chiron tries to grab the vial out of his hand. Or, sorry, yeah.
No. Yeah. You go and move to grab the vial. And unlike every other time when you've simply faded through and moved on, you are stopped. You are halted. You lock up. You are unable to stop it. You are unable to look away, and you have to watch. You have to watch as Chiron takes the vial and administers it to the next person. Just the person closest by. And then there is the worst thing. Because it simply is over. You blinked again and didn't want to, and were pulled awake in the middle of a dream just as you became lucid enough to wonder what came next, and you are back here. God damn it, it's here again, with you and the paintings in every direction, and Cade and the death. Cade looks at you with a knowing look, a sad one, his arms crossed as he leans on one of the stacks of paintings and cannot face you.
She's gone.
I know.
She's gone.
I know.
And they blame me.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to suffer through that. A second time, no less. Cade says it, but it's with the tone of a man who has nothing else to say.
It's not the second time. It's every moment. Now I get to see it. And see the truth even more. It's one thing to think it, but to actually see it. Again, and again, and again.
Cade breathes. That's why you can't stay. That's why you can't watch it again and again and again. Because it doesn't change. There is an awkward silence between the two of you. As you exchange those last words with Cade. It's It's not adversarial, but it is intense as Cade has pushed himself off of the stack of books and takes a step towards you, but then just doesn't, as you insist that you will find her. She's not here, Chiron. There's no one here. There's me and them and no one else. There's nothing here, Chiron, because memories aren't people. People are there. And there are people that are waiting, and there are people that are wanting, and the waiting is on the other side, but the wanting are down there. And the waiting will wait, but the wanting need you. Cade Evanol, Kevin speaks, having seemingly waited at least an appropriate amount of time before interrupting. That is enough. Chiron Hemlock, the Death speaks, and taps their brush on the edge of the easel. I am afraid I must ask you a question now, as you are a complicated case. Chiron Hemlock is dead, and has been dead for quite some time. However, just as some individuals and their spirit remain, you died, and a substantially large portion of yourself chose to remain there. In your world, Chiron Hemlock is dead. However, Chiron Hemlock has been brought back to life. Yet, Chiron Hemlock is here, a place between life and death, a place typically reserved for the dead. So, Chiron Hemlock, I do not know what to do with you. And in these instances, I must ask you a question. Kevin points to a door that you could swear was not there before. A door that was certainly not there before. You may pass through that door, where everyone you know and have known that is no longer in the world of the living awaits you, where Cassandra Sagehold awaits you. Or you may return to the world of the living, where I cannot say what awaits you. Kevin stops speaking and dips the brush into some paint and hovers their hand over the canvas. The canvas that shows you kneeling beside cats, holding the vial. And they await your response before they decide what brushstroke to make. Cade remains quiet. His eyes are fixed on you as he awaits your response with a nervous energy that is tense and tight in his shoulders, and as Kevin awaits the response with nothing. Not apathy, just patience. What do you do?
Chiron takes one look at the painting, furrows his brow. And even kind of contemplates looking at the door, looking at the painting, looking at the door, looking at the painting. And he thinks to himself, he really remembers and cherishes everything that Cass has done for him. And he mutters the words, "Please live." She didn't get the chance to do it. So he says this is what she would have wanted. So he chooses to live.
Chiron chooses
So
to
I
live. Kevin takes his brush and moves it away from the painting. Takes their brush, excuse me. Are you certain about that? Chiron, I'm like, yes, he's certain, damn it! Cade intercedes and rushes over. He shoves Kevin off of the easel and snatches the canvas and holds it out to you. Snap it. Snap it. Tear it into a million pieces, because that's not where your memory ends, and that's not all you are. Snap it, Chiron. Live. Please live. Those people don't just want you back. They need you back. Chiron, you're the cure. Kevin looks baffled, as if they would have placed every bit of logic in you choosing the door, and Cade holds the painting out to you, insisting you break it.
It's fitting. I rolled a d20 and it was a 20
Yes!
to attack the painting.
You snap the painting?
Yeah. I karate chop it or whatever. Smash it into a million pieces.
Cade holds it out, and you just wrench at it, and it tears asunder, and it breaks not like a painting should, but like a fire bursting, and flows out in all directions as the paint leaves the canvas, as the color leaves and the color finds you. And Kevin sits up, returning to their stool, a stunned look that quickly fades as they return to a new painting. But Cade smiles. And as the painting bursts away, his arms wrap around you again as the canvas is gone and you feel warm. Never forget her. Never forget that you are, without a doubt, without a question, a hero. Because you're the man who gives the vial to the boy. Do me a favor, Chiron. Tell Marin I'll find my way back. I will. And if I don't, I'll wait here until she's with me and we can walk through that door together.
I'll tell her. I promise, Cade. No, you gotta do the it's not your fault handshake that we did earlier.
I know you will. And then
It might not come out the way you want it though. I'm not the best speaker.
Then you're not there. Just Cade and Kevin. Somewhere in between life and death. But not you, Chiron. You are not. Cade Avenant, the death speaks. Why did you do that? And Cade does not reply. He will not remember that. You know he will not remember that. Messages cannot be taken back. And a smile forms on a dead man's face. No, if you don't try.
Yeah.
You're awake. Hi. You are. But it is not right to say you awaken, because you were not asleep. You feel as if you've just woken up, like from a dream, roused from sleep. But you are not in a bed, and you were not dreaming. It is twilight here, wherever here is. But where here is familiar, is known. Chiron, you stand in, well, rather obviously, a graveyard. You can tell that because of the graves. And you stand there in this graveyard as a faint light trickles into the sky from a far-off sun, slowly tipping its way towards rising. You stand in clothes that are familiar, but foreign. Yours. Your clothing, but not clothing you would have ever chosen to wear yourself. Clothes that were placed on your body shortly after your death. You lack your mask, you lack your gloves, your coat, your vials, your bottles, your needles, you lack your axes, your ring, your signet, and you lack your locket. You're just a man, stood in the dim light of a breaking day, in old clothes. The clothes of a noble son, just perhaps the more maligned noble son. Chiron, what does the man in this graveyard look like?
Well, it's fitting that I wore my shirt like this, because I always envisioned that Chiron's shirt would be kind of like blue hint.
Okay.
With like the tie or whatever, blue underneath, some blue here. More maroon red, darker red. And when Chiron looks in the mirror, he sees what he deems impurity, even if it's not technically true. So his irises being different pigment bothers him. It's one of the first things he tried to fix and was unable to do it. He tries to keep a pretty clean shaven face. Still mutters. He's got his goatee and his cleanly shaved beard kind of trimmed tight. That way he can fit in a sunny mask over it. And even if it defies physics, his matted hair usually tries to tie up into a messy bun. The hair color being like a smoky black and gray, almost like wispy. And his face, beyond just the eyes, just seems so distraught and harrowed by the mistakes he might have made. That's what the face of Chiron and a man of great shame would look like.
Well, Chiron, as you take a moment, a dozen moments, to realize where you are and how you are without realizing how you've come to be here, just a man in a graveyard, you can't help but notice precisely where you are in that graveyard and what lies before you and what lies behind you. In front of you, as is all around you, really, but in front of you is a grave. Large, well-made, tall, with a square base and a detail, a carving running up along the headstone. Florals that have been carved to look as if they grow along the frame and reach up to a crest atop the stone. The same crest that sits on that pocket square in your pocket. And a name beneath it. Sage hold. Your eyes run down the stone to the names. The first of which, Cassandra Sagehold. Her name chiseled into the stone. The date of her death carved beneath it. 186 after shattering. Beneath that, Agnes Sagehold. The name you remember well, and perhaps the sight of it here in a place that means death. Perhaps it twinges at your heart a bit, but perhaps not. Your mother. Agnes Sagehold, 188 after shatter. Just 2 years after her daughter. And lastly, Balkan Sagehold, your father. That's not right to say. Your adoptive father. One who could have earned the title without a codifier. One who could have simply been called father. Could. But could does not mean would, or should, or did. Balkan Sagehold, 205 after shattering. For an elven man to outlive human counterparts in a purely scientific manner, there's little that surprises you about it. So perhaps it's the opposite. That he could have lived another 100 years, or maybe 2, without Cass, without Agnes, without you, but he simply did not. And that's it. 3 names on a headstone. No mention of anything. Nothing about it to tell the story, nothing to remind the world what kind of person Cass was, not her work, not one of the years she spent healing others, nothing of the plague that took her, just the tragedy of a child buried before her parents, but a tragedy summarized by nothing more than numbers on a grave. And Chiron, you feel a pull at the back of your mind, something tugging at you like it beckons you. Like it needs you to turn around. And do you?
Can I palm Cassandra's gravestone first, and then turn after that?
You reach out and run your fingers along the name Cassandra Sagehold, tracing the letters on the stone. And then you loop your fingers back and trace the first 4 letters once more. Yes. And you turn to face another grave. Smaller, but still nice. Something beautiful in the simplicity. An evenly cut rectangular headstone that rises up to your hips. Stone that has been cleaned, just not the most recently. And a singular name printed into the stone. Chiron Sagehold, 186 after shatter. Because you didn't take the vial. Because you and Cass died together. Days apart doesn't matter, you and Cass died together. And here you rest. Not together.
Balkan, you couldn't have just put us together. You had to do one last thing. I'll never forgive you. I'll make sure everybody knows Cass's name and not yours. Sagehold was never about the nobility. It was all about her. She was the most noble of all of you. I don't care what the title says at all. I should be right there with her. But I'll make sure she's known. And neither of you will ever be known to anyone.
You hear a rustling, the clank of metal and the jangle of something old and rusty, and light begins to fill the graveyard. Perception check, please. It's lantern light. The sway of the chain that hangs from it being the noise you hear, as that dim amber light flows into the graveyard. And someone calls out distantly, "Excuse me!" And rounding the corner, "Excuse me, sir. We, don't allow mysterious brooding before dawn, sir. You're gonna have to come back later. Or, we do late-night brooding, too." A somewhat shabbily dressed gravekeeper makes his way over to you, in a large hat and holding a lantern. A dwarven man who looks up at you, lifting the lantern to get a better look at you. "You're, not one of them grave robber, are you? We, take the valuables off them before we bury them, I'll have you know." Insight check, please.
28.
His other hand rests on a dirk tucked into the side of his belt, but you can tell just from the way this dwarven man stands, he does not intend to use it, but it is quite clear by his stance. A stance you figure you could sweep and pull the dagger from his side and use it against him in under a matter of seconds. It is clear that the dagger is there to make him feel safe, not to threaten you.
Mr. Dwarf, you're clenching a dagger with 3 of your fingers. Not very tightly, very loosely. You're probably around, I don't know, pretty young for a dwarf. I can tell by the skin molecules on your face. I would suggest that you put that down before I take it from you and throw it down for you. I will visit this place whenever I want. And I will leave right now if you need me to. But do not bring a weapon near me ever again.
Intimidation check, please. It's like a 4.
It's a nat 1, and I have a -1, so it's literally...
It's a nat 0.
Alright.
You say what are intimidating words, is what I'll say, like point blank. However, maybe maybe he's still got a cry going. Maybe he's still red in the face. And the dwarf looks at you with just so much confusion. Right then. And the dwarf man sort of takes a step back and adjusts a bit in his place. He moves his hand off of the dagger, but does not throw it to the ground. And he kind of like looks around left, looks around right, and he moves his lantern and he inspects the grave in front of you, gesturing to the name. Your name. Partially your name. Friend of yours then, is it? Family?
Yeah, you could say that.
Well, mister, I'm afraid you have to move along there. You're clearly going through something, but like I said, we ain't open for brooding and observing till dawn.
One last thing, and
Snap this dwarf's neck.
No, I mark something in down on the gravestone in a language that he might understand, that maybe only somebody of my caliber would understand.
Okay.
I write it down in Thieves' Cant.
I was wondering if you... Oh yeah, no, you do know Thieves' Cant. Never mind.
Yeah.
Hey folks,
And
it's
then
weird.
Chiron in the finale didn't know Thieves' Cant, but Chiron now knows Thieves' Cant. That's interesting.
What do you place in Thieves' Cant beneath your name on the grave?
I'll make the most of it. It's something stupid, but I'll make the most of it now.
You go to deface a grave in front of the gravekeeper, and he's like, ah! And then just kind of is like, am I getting paid enough to fight this crazy guy right now? And he kind of just lets you do it.
And then I give one last wave to pass his grave, and then I walk out just to... I mean, I would try to get like flowers. I just don't want to just start stealing flowers.
Right.
But
yeah. Oh no, I like this more. You do that, and you add your note to the grave, and the dwarven man stands there, and honestly, unaffectively lets you do it. And then you begin to move away, and you give the wave, and he just looks at you. And lets you go. So what the fuck is he gonna do? Chiron. You exit a graveyard onto cobblestone streets. You have no money, no weapons, and nothing of you. Not even your mask. Just your body, your mind, your heart. And the city of Haven, where you were born, where you were raised, albeit just outside the city at Sagehold Manor, where you and Cass played, where you and Cass learned, where the plague was, some 40-odd years ago now. The city where you died. What do you do?
I'm in. You said I'm looking at the city, or like
you're in this. This graveyard is in the city. It is a very nice, like fancy ritzy graveyard. So graveyard.
First things first. And I kind of like look up to the right. Let's try to find a new mask.
And you walk the streets of Pavin. The sun begins to rise over the crest of the hill and shining down into the streets, painting the cobblestones in red and pink light as the white and green stone roofs of Pavin begin to shine. You know these streets. You remember them so well. Places where you and Cass ran along rooftops and got yelled at by the shoemaker, where Dr. Peng taught you and Cass how to set a dislocated shoulder, where Cass knocked someone's nose loose, and you help them fix the nose afterwards. And you find yourself walking towards the market. Where else to find a mask? And you find yourself by the landing, the docks. Your feet carry you as you walk in a dawn, a twilight that feels surreal. Because you can't remember the last time you walked into public without your mask, without your wrappings. It's still early. Your feet carry you until they stop. Ships are loading up. Shops are opening. People are already arguing about prices for wares, for work, for transit, and people pass you by. And the moment crystallizes. It's weird. You would have sworn the world slowed down just a bit, like it was waiting for you to notice. But you do notice. Across the port side of Pavin, through a crowd of people, you catch a glimpse, and then you hold that as you see it unmistakably. Printed on skin. You were the one who noticed it in the first place. A tattoo. tattoo of a moon on a man with red flesh and 2 horns as you settle your eyes on all the people in all the places. KJ Star, the airship pilot. And once again, like the world waited for someone to notice, his eyes move and meet yours. Across the harbor, by a boat, an airship, KJ's holding some sort of manifest, and he freezes. His brow furrows and raises as he sees this man staring at him, and he blinks a few times. He looks left, he looks right, he looks back at you. And you see him mouth, with no shortage of disbelief in his face, "You?" And that's gonna do it for saving throw! We're back, baby. Folks, this has been the Chiron special. Did you think that's what it was gonna be, motherfuckers?
Bad.
He's back, he's alive, he's hot, he's maskless. Gotta have to find one of those. He's also unarmed. What'll happen? You'll have to find out in season 2 of Saving Throw, where Chiron is a rogue. Leaving that for the people to think about for the next months.
Yeah, that's probably why I was rolling so hot in a lot of the skill checks, guys. It wasn't because I was rolling 20s. I was rolling with expertise and other things, which helps me out.
Yeah, but it's awesome that it worked out like that, isn't it? Folks,
it helped out a lot, except for the charisma checks.
That was the Chiron special. That was in the tank for a very long time. As mentioned, Jason did not know Chiron was dead, but I sure did, and I had been collecting little things and trinkets to use against him in this almost exactly 3-hour moment later, which I think is like pretty close to the win special. So I think specials are almost exactly 3 hours is what we've learned. That's gonna do it for Saving Throw. Look, if you're this deep, I know you're here for this shit, and I appreciate you greatly. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for crying along Jason and I.
Right. Thank you.
There is
that's a hard part.
There's something inherently both dumb and awesome about like bringing yourself to tears in playing D&D. I didn't cry a fucking peep while writing this shit, but did I cry during this? Yeah, pal.
Oh my god. It's nice to see a lot of the stuff I had in writing finally coming into fruition too. The part while you guys like, oh, I recognize this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, Chris did a great job handling it. I'm like, wait a minute, I know this part.
I was trying to give you time to like enjoy all that shit.
Yeah. Or Chris prepped me on some of it, but not much of that. So again, props to Chris for both keeping it to be able to adjust on the fly and also like incorporate some of the stuff I had. So it was a nice balance. So I was able to help out. He did a great job. Man, fucking young cat Cassandra I did not expect though.
Oh yeah, dude. Don't worry, I had that shit ready for you. Starting off art this week. Hello.
How will Zach make that look better?
Great question. Who cares? Ben with I am so scared of what's gonna happen, but Chris gave us 10 words this week and I felt inspired. Yeah, I wrote the Chiron you're not there, Chiron you are not bit in chat a while ago. And Fen made this before. Like, y'all can't be making art for shit that hasn't happened yet.
Right.
This is awesome. I mean, look at the fucking colors, dude. The bandages falling, the locket next to the mask.
It's really good, like I said. I really like the locket and mask combo, man. It'll stay in season 2, sort of.
Yeah, the mask staying is what we discussed.
Thank you.
Number 1 Chiron Hemlock fan, Instant Noodle. Sorry about it, pal. Hello! I'm so excited for the stream and cannot wait to see what happens and probably experience a lot of emotional pain. I was unfortunately struck with the art block right before my favorite character's episodes. I only have one piece of art this time. y'all.
Good job.
Yeah, don't
Good job,
don't
Noodles.
apologize
Good job,
for that
Fen.
shit. I
don't-
figured there would be
stop
enough
apologizing.
sadness in the
Oh,
actual episode, so I drew Chiron relaxing in the garden with some fireflies. And sorry, what's this? No sadness, you say? This is a ghost behind
Yeah,
him.
that's a ghost.
A ghost. This is awesome. Fireflies would have been good. I should have thought about that. This is awesome, and as
many
you
times
can
during-
see now, paid off.
How many times did I want to add more? Like I played a moment out. I'm like, fuck, I should have added that like specific detail, man.
Yeah, but
Fuck.
it's better to leave some stuff left to the
Yeah,
imagination
yeah.
or unsaid. It's typically what I've found during this. Waddle Dee with what a lovely boy. Hopefully nothing bad happens to him. It's Chiron. Oh, is this child Chiron in a Minions shirt and with a lollipop and the spinny hat?
It was before the thing though.
He's
It was
on-
before Chiron card.
He's only 3 apples tall. He's a tiny little baby boy.
That's right.
Scat Ratman with some Chiron doodles. We have Mr. Zog, I don't feel so good, and Chiron, hey. Chiron came back to life. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, the one.
And Chiron's many masks, including the flower mask, the smiley mask, swirly mask. Do you have a goat mask at some point?
I think I honestly, I'm showing my like. I don't know how many fucking mask designs I ran.
Yeah, that's
came
fine.
up with. I might have came up with a ghost. I remember some of them. It's been over like what 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So you usually have
No, dude, we're approaching 4.
And somebody's gonna be like, "You've already used that mask." I'm like, "Okay."
Well,
Sorry.
luckily we gave you a hard reset here, so you can everything you say now is just new. Toast, Thanatos, with I have less than I wanted for this, but 1 working on a cast design, and we see some doodling and noodling on a cast design.
She's the bee's knees.
Oh, I see. You took Darmay's height. I don't get what you took from Alistair. I guess the smile. Yeah, I like the flowers in the hair and the braids, and also taller than Chiron. That's good. Even though Chiron's like regular height. I guess half elves are tall.
I'm regular. Yeah. Yeah, half house might be tall. I don't know. Who knows?
Second is a
Good.
Chiron painting based on a cool image I found. I can't read and do that at the same time. And it's Chiron clutching the locket, but it's over the heart. That's good shit. Also appropriate because at the time he was fixing a heart.
Bro, did you just do a full fucking skeleton like through
Yeah,
the paint?
it's
Dude, that's-
unbelievable, right? Like, Toast just flexing. And lastly, we have, and I believe this
That's
is
crazy,
this
man.
is this Cass and Cade, or is this a Cass and Chiron painting? I guess before we knew what Chiron. Oh no, he's hot. I will say for
Gross.
Chiron's dock, because people were asking, I think I have blue and green heterochromia. Is that correct? So 1 eye blue, 1 eye green.
Is that what I showed you?
Is that correct, or am I wrong?
I'll check back with you on that.
Okay,
We'll check.
Chiron will.
I know one of the eyes is green. Yeah. one of
Jason
the
will
eyes is
confirm
green.
later. For all
It
you
might have been pink or
folks.
blue. I forget which one it was.
Constellation's old stream with no song, I fear. The writer brain has abandoned me. You're so unbelievably fine. You've made so many. Hopped on the board of the cast design train. Now, did I put her in the same color as Dharma? Yeah, but it felt right. Something the person you failed to save and the person you did. This. I like the metal bodice business. It's also plants. Very clever.
Yeah.
Especially because we
Fits.
ended up,
We just
cats
talked
being
about that, yeah.
plant relevant.
Bro, that was the hardest thing to fucking play. A fucking child?
Yeah,
Really?
it's the
That's so hard. I was like, before he's like, what? Before he goes fucking crazy?
yeah when he's just
Before
when he's
the
just a
lunatic?
scared little kid.
Yeah.
And speaking of Dharma, here's a Dharma cosplay, a closet cosplay with stuff I did. Oh, the second image is. Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah. No.
Oh,
wait,
right,
Oh,
and-
the mask too.
Yeah, well, they Constellation made a mask before, so they have that. Oh, you
Yeah.
even braided your hair for that? Fuck yeah, brother. What are you cosplaying? Oh, you don't know Dharma Andal from the hit podcast Saving Throw? Idiot. Thank you so much, Constellation Soul Stream.
That's good.
Will Ben with hello. If I hadn't misplaced my notepad with my Arc 3 cards, I would have made a Chiron-based showcase. Say however, it's in place. I'll share my AO3 contribution. That's my take on what happened to Troton and Emil during season finale. Okay, I am not going to read this. I realize that's weird, but explicitly, I didn't want to do art that was for everyone on this one. I wanted it to be Chiron specific. So please repost this when it's season 2 time. Thank you. Need of nothing with I'm extremely excited, but also terrified. We have one, Darme holding on to Chiron's locket. You made her so sad. I mean, I know she's mourning, but she's so sad. Let the poor woman be less sad. No.
Hey, you got a little bit of Darme screen time today, guys.
It's gotta pay off. It's gotta pay off huge. Don't worry. It's gonna pay off huge. 2, Chiron animation. Look at that cape flapping. This is gonna go on. Oh fuck! I should make like a load screen with like shit like this and the flying ash that Toast made. And then mementos of loved ones. Ooh.
The cape flow. The cape flow.
Yeah, the cape flow's sick.
The mementos of love. The mementos of love.
The mask, the bandages, and the locket. And the lyrics they said were from Euthanasia by Will Wood, who I'm not familiar with.
Man, these cast designs are crazy.
I know. I love all the different cast designs.
The different interpretations.
Yeah, because also like I'm probably not gonna commission official cast art because I like that she's in memory.
Yeah, it's nice to have a kind of like a more open interpretation of like what you could do.
Yeah,
I think too.
Sorry, I took my medicine that I forgot to take earlier. Exostesi with Darme, Chiron, and TL drawings, and my first ever music I've made. The 2 sketches are done after I hurt my hand falling from the stairs too. Ouch.
You alright?
Yeah, I believe they said earlier that like they weren't going to finish these drawings because their hand hurt, but I believe they're okay. I hope so. If not, we have Darme getting caught reading her smut.
What?
And then we have the Chiron.
Yeah, the Chiron's pretty fucking dope.
Oh, it's got he's a super rare. Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah, that's awesome. NTL being all evil. The nightmare that is drawing above. Hoping it's correct.
Bro, if Marin was not there, I would have fucking smacked that fucking punk bitch.
I'll probably like 30 seconds to see if there's a good natural ending spot. 3, 2, 1. Go out! Ooh.
That's good. What? Oh my God. This is your first time doing anything?
Yeah, it's really cool. The build behind it's really cool.
Yeah, it's like you guys gotta have more. You gotta be like more like confident. Like I guess you are confident if you're posting anything, but like you guys should be proud.
That's super awesome. Herlock Gnomes with some doodles. We have a Chiron, a Win, and an Alistair. And appropriately, it's a big Chiron for Chiron's big day. Win's special was Win's big day out. This one was titled in my thing as Chiron Alone, which is a reference to Zuko Alone, which is one of the best episodes of Avatar. In reality, that title doesn't really make any sense. So Zach and I were messing around with like, the man beneath the mask and stuff like that. I also like the man and the mask, which I think is also cool. Thank you. Love the sketchbook drawings have like a special place in my heart, even though I've never really sketched that much. Concept of Time with It's His Special Day. Here's a Chiron cursor set. If you'll allow me a personal aside, Chiron has had much more impact on me than I ever expected. Genuinely, watching him makes me feel less weird and alone when I go off on some medical tangent, when I need to hide from people and cover myself up and do my own thing, when I accidentally derail a normal dinner time conversation into making people confront their mortality, or when I'm forced to get over my usual state of being an avoidant bitch and stay by the side of a friend. Edit. You made Cass so much like her. Fuck you forever. Lighthearted. It has been less than a month since I finished binging season 1. I am so ready for Endless Sea of Occur and season 2. I will see you all there. The fact that first of all, I have no concept for how making a cursor set works. Like, I get that you can replace a cursor, but like making one to me is fascinating. This shit does it for me in such a major MySpace era way, like the MySpace fire text way. These are so fucking sick, and the fact that you made them for, I believe, 3 characters now, definitely 2. I know there's TL and Chiron, is unbelievably sick.
It's crazy. I just learn every time like somebody does something. I'm like, oh well, I can't do another thing. I can't do.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've said it before, but like the numbers of different mediums of which we have received art for saving throw is so sick. Like, we got cursors, we have music, we have traditional like drawn whatever art.
It's just so funny to me.
We got fucking cosplays and people making like stuffed figures and meeples. Like y'all are incredible. Like,
that's a board game. That's a board game. Fucking saying meeple.
Yeah, that's what they're called, isn't it? Like anything like little.
Yeah,
like,
I know. It's just
because TuneIRL made them for everyone. I think also the Victimancer, which is awesome. Naomi with hi. I meant to have the Chiron Sandy E done this week, but things got busy and our fight was ending, so I drew some eyes instead, and we have the eyes of the party. Well, luckily for you, you'll be able to fill those Chiron eyes in now that we know what his look like. Boom! That's synergy.
It's true.
Techno with Kinmar is that way. The moment that really struck me, so I decided to do an art about it. I didn't catch a proper description of the clearing. It wasn't relevant. And obviously the sun wasn't there, so you can think of this as a metaphor. I imagine the dark skeletal trees surrounding everything in this eternal night, and then out in the distance at Kinmar, the sunrise, or at least the promise of one. Anyway, definitely not emotional pain right now. I don't know what you're talking about. I feel normal and good. And then Kinmar is that way. Yeah, it's the same thing with the Marin scene in the Lid special, where I was like, do I want to do a prolonged Cade thing in this? Because it isn't really about him.
Yeah.
But like, I think that I'll just flat out say this, part of my thing with the heroes is that all of them in some way are echoed by our main cast. And that doesn't just stand for the 5 party members, but it's everyone. And there's a bunch of connections like that. And I mean, people clocked this a long time ago. Cade as the dead guy and Chiron as the dead guy are inherently linked. And that was part of my whole plan. This is awesome. I can't believe I think I said like 4 times got art that fast. You're the fucking goat. Novatuna with
so funny.
I'm gonna throw up. I love saving throw with another cast design. I love that everyone decides. Like I don't know. Did we ever say braided hair before this? I definitely said it today. But like the consistency of like, yeah, she braids her hair and she parties hard. It's just
I guess she's a half elf, so you know.
Yeah, that's definitely got like an elf whimsy to it. A frame from an animatic I'm working on, which I'm guessing this is a live Chiron and Cass.
I would
have to assume. Yeah. In a sketch I managed to in these trying times. We're gonna take a blood up! Yeah, big part of the whole thing for me was like, you know, Cass and Chiron are these like refuges of childlike whimsy and like actually having a childhood for each other. It's just, you know, that's growing up, baby. That's D&D.
That's character work.
That's world building. And Naomi following up from earlier with, I forgot to share this for my animatic. The scene is so pretty and has most of the color variation of any of the frames I drew for the animatic. Yeah, well, I have a distinct feeling I know what's going on here, as I'm guessing that is the magic leaking into the sky, and Chiron, Isanomo.
Yeah.
That's gonna hit like very similar to the Win animatic. I'm sure that whenever you post Naomi, it will hit like bricks. Verathena with I couldn't fucking draw from all the tears in my eyes. How dare you? Also a rogue. Sorry for any inaccuracies. I started working on this before we got a concrete description of Chiron's appearance. Lol. Don't apologize.
Stop apologizing.
Also, it's interpretive. Like it's you can tell me any of the art we commissioned Nez for is wrong, and I'll be like, yeah, that's fine. That's your prerogative. And of course. And I knew this was gonna hit. We got fucking Chiron and Cass eating the cookies on the roof, baby. Cookies before Din Din? Let's go. I'm so hungry. I'm gonna crush food after this. Thank you so much, Verathena. Fen
So
with
good.
stream doodles, but my hands were shaking the whole time. Shout out to Kevin, the big Kev dog. We have Kevin, we have Cade. You blink and you wish you hadn't. Instead of heterochromy, they wrote homophobia, a classic bit.
Fucking Kevin, man.
Oh baby, and
Kevin-
and Agnes and Balkan don't get faces because fuck them.
Yeah, I like how you tried to like ease up into Agnes a little bit.
Yeah. I gave her a slightly softer a treatment,
Yeah,
but it's still.
Which is true. Remember what we're writing you, yeah.
But like at the end of the day, I wanted to be, the main thing I wanted to be clear about that is that they buried you with the wrong fucking name because it's performative. And they just, and even though you died the same time as Cass, they get buried with Cass years later, and you don't get buried with Cass, which is like we can be as nice to Agnes and say she's the less aggressor in the thing than Balkan, but
bro.
it's inexcusable.
That's fucked.
It's fucked.
That's fucked.
Ben. Toast with stream doodles. Also K-Star cameo. Yippee. Yeah, I didn't really give you Cade and K-Star in one episode, huh?
Yeah.
That's fine. Woke up half an hour ago. Yeah, hey, me too, pal. It's not your fault scene, which then that returning at the end. Blah.
Yeah.
Chiron Hemrock doesn't know what plant is. Yeah, the tan coat's an insignia. I liked that as like a precursor to your current coat, which is a dark color.
Yeah. I have. Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see what comes out of the direction, like in terms of the art we might be getting, because we've already kind of talked about it a little bit. But
yeah. Oh yeah, there'll be updated Chiron art for season 2 for all the folks out there. We have older Chiron and Cass. We have the Blood Oath. We then have Cade and Chiron. So this is also something, because you mentioned the thing about not wanting to look at you, which I thought was really cool. And then how it goes from not wanting to look at you to like trying to avoid looking at each other to like giving permission to like look at me, and then Cade not being able to look at you. I was just like, let's cinema D&D, baby.
Yeah.
And rehydrated Chiron. Good rehydrated Ganon reference in the year of our Lord 2026.
Yeah. I couldn't describe. I sent like pictures to Chris of like what it is, but it's hard to like describe it.
Yeah, it's a thing where it's like, you know, it's what your flavor in D&D is. It's like, do you like describing, because like in general when I write, I don't really like that much describing what characters look like. I'll usually say like they're wearing this, like Cade, like he's wearing loose fitting clothes and he's got a big poof of hair. That's all I need, baby. Let the imagination play the rest. Theater of the mind. Zach. Fuck you, dude. Putting it here for posterity. I assumed we'd get a hot hydrated Chiron, so I mean, this is a joke while making the thumbnail. And he's fucking handsome Squidward. We should use this as a thumbnail for the YouTube episode.
I'm sure the people would love it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, folks. Okay.
We did it.
We did it. The Chiron special. I was so excited for this. This went awesome in my opinion. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Thank you all for watching. We kept like the same amount of viewers the whole time because I assumed the people were like, well, I ain't missing this shit. It's been 4 years coming. We finally know what's up with this freaky dude. And Chiron will return in saving throw 2. It is 2:30 in the morning for Jason. He's got to go to bed. I got to go eat lunch. Thank you all so much. I love making the show. I love playing D&D with my friends. Have a great day.
Thank you all for tuning in. Seriously,
Thank
it means
you so
a lot.
much. Yeah,
Thank you, Chris, for running it too.
Oh yeah, of course. This is what it's all about.